Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Karl Karufel alongside Chris Best and OMD as we are bringing you another Raw Watch Along. As you see in the graphic right now, that World Heavyweight Championship that Triple H is showing on the screen right now as they are giving us a preview of tonight and what is going to be happening. Very interesting things are happening right now with Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for this championship. What the hell?
Yes, I kind of have a theory on that.
Tonight we do have two triple threat matches with the winners facing off in the main event to determine who's going to Night of Champions. And as well, tonight on Raw, we get the start of the brand new rosters from the draft.
That is right. Chris Best, what is your theory on this?
I was thinking about
whatever's going on.
I was thinking about WCW a lot lately, and it came to me when I was watching A&E's Most Wanted Treasures last night when they were looking for the WCW World Television Championship.
Okay.
Belt. And it occurred to me that WCW's names all had world in them. We had the World Heavyweight Championship, the World Tag Team Championship, the World Television Championship. What if this belt is actually being moved to SmackDown because the U.S. title is over there right now? So what if Cody loses the triple threat matches tonight and he implements his rematch clause against Roman Reigns and brings the WWE title over to Raw?
That's interesting, dude.
It is. It is. And yes, all of the WCW titles, except I believe the Cruiserweight and the Cruiserweight
titles. Or no, I mean the U.S. title.
Yes. As well as even the Cruiserweight tag titles, although that didn't last long, were world.
And I like your thinking there, Chris, because for sure we know that USA Network wants the WWE Championship and Roman Reigns on Raw.
Yes.
Melball, good to see you, girl. Love you. I will see you tomorrow.
And it got me thinking about SmackDown not having tag titles. So what if they create somewhere down the road? It's not going to happen anytime soon, but World Tag Team Championships.
World Tag Team Championships could work too, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that USA doesn't just want Roman Reigns. They want the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
They want the bloodline over the title.
Right. But are we going to be taking that title off of Roman Reigns anytime soon? No,
we're not.
And if they do, the only man that can do it is the man that's making his way to the ring right now.
That would be Cody Rhodes making his way to the ring right now. For those of you who aren't watching Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
And what a match he had against Brock Lesnar. But I got to say, that Bret Hart finish came out of nowhere.
It did. It was pretty insane coming out of this premium live event.
Yes, and
holy crap.
What a PLE that was.
I was happy with it. I definitely was.
Oh, I went in with absolutely no expectations because I knew everything was going to be closed off after the PLEs.
Right. And I mean, for me, I had figured, they're in Puerto Rico, right? And that everything was going to be revolved around Bad Bunny, which, yes, I called it. Bad Bunny did absolutely no hosting and only wrestled the matchup, which pissed me off.
Other than that segment with Savio Vega in the background,
right, but that really wasn't hosting. That was
that was a backstage segment.
Basser, thank you so much for coming in, brother. I appreciate you a lot.
That's Savio.
Basser is saying Brock always puts on a great performance. And evening, boys. Evening to you too, Basser.
Yes.
If you're
thank
not
you,
watching,
Basser.
tune it to Monday Night Raw, Basser, and watch that along with us and be part of the conversation, please.
Please.
I gotta ask though, because there's been a lot of speculation about Brock Lesnar bleeding on that show. Did he bleed hard way, or did he blade?
It looks to me like it was hard way.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Yes, and I have read that it was planned, which is why the ref did
Yeah.
not go immediately to the gloves.
That kind of surprised me too. Because
It's a Cody match. I knew there was going to be blood somewhere.
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching the ref after Brock got cut there, and I'm like, why aren't you putting the gloves on right away there, ref?
Right. Basser, what do you think of this new little layout that we've got going on here with us guys up on the big screen as we're watching Monday Night Raw? What do you think about that look? Cody pandering to the crowd.
And I'm going to guess he's going to ask what they want to talk about.
You just did. So I don't know how far ahead or behind I am, but
well, he's literally just about to ask on my screen. So
okay.
I think I'm about 10 seconds ahead of Karl myself.
Holy crap!
I think. I'm not certain.
I just had him say wonderful memories. Tonight. That's what I just heard.
Okay, yeah, I'm about 10 seconds ahead of you then.
Oh, wow. So if I have some internet issues tonight, I just want to apologize for that. I am going to call them out. I'm going to call out Shaw Cable right now. My internet speeds are less than 50 down.
And they shouldn't be, considering our weather today. We've had beautiful weather all day today.
I have been working with them for over 2.5 hours this afternoon into this evening because my internet speeds have been absolute crap lately.
Well, you did say you had an old modem, right?
Well, I've got not really an old. I don't have the 6G, but I do have the 5G. And
that's the one I picked up this past November or December, I should say.
So they had me go and like do all these different tests and all of this stuff, which I did before. And then they had me do a full reset on it.
Mm-hmm.
Push the button, hold it for a minute, wait for it all to come back. And as I'm doing that, the guy in the chat disconnects on me.
Oh, wonderful.
And now I don't have 5G. I've only got my 2.4 gig.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to be getting a hold of them tomorrow again, being like, you're going to fix this for me?
Yep. Or
I'm going to go somewhere else. It's your choice now. And they're probably just going to say, okay, bye. And then I might have to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't have any issues. Like Shaw had, like, since I switched to Virgin, which uses the Bell fiber, I have not had any types of internet issues. I've got very little buffering with my TV anymore. And I dropped. I'm only using 100 MB.
I pay for 1,000.
Yeah. The problem is with Shaw is you have to share the bandwidth.
Right. Cody just made his way out of the ring and he's walking towards that championship now.
I'm liking this bracket of matches that we're going to be getting, though.
Okay, I'm just seeing it.
I haven't seen the bracket yet. It's going to be coming up here in a minute.
Okay, no, I'm okay with this.
Like,
the only thing I'm not okay with is that the Miz is going to get buried.
Yes,
I like the Miz.
I love the Miz.
I mean, the Miz is awesome.
He is.
I just actually watched him on Jimmy Fallon with Alexa Bliss the other day.
Nice.
Yes,
where they were doing the musical roulette stuff there.
Yes.
Yeah. That was
it is a pretty nice bracket. Oh, it was entertaining, yeah. Alexa Bliss singing all the small things.
Yes.
And it actually didn't surprise me that they picked that song for her, given her type of her musical genre choice.
Right?
Yes.
Right? And her stature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alexa's a small thing.
So rumors are flying that her and Bray Wyatt are set to return anytime now.
That is what I've been hearing, and I will be perfectly okay with that.
Yes. Including as early as tonight, but neither of them were drafted because who knows? So we'll have to see if they return tonight or if they return on Friday.
I'm thinking they're going to remain free agents and be, just as you said, OMD, attractions.
Right.
Bray is definitely the attraction out of that. I would like to see, as much as we all want to see the Alexa Bliss, Bray Wyatt pairing again, I would like to see Alexa Bliss go and challenge for a title.
Yeah, that's the next question I've been thinking about is, can these free agents challenge for a title? Should they?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think it would be perfectly fine for them. They're just a free agent, which simply means that they can work either show. That's it.
That's right. What I'm finding funny now, though, and this is happening throughout wrestling, is a lot of these people are issuing open challenges to a specific person.
What? Say that again?
We're seeing a lot of open challenges throughout wrestling, but then they're being thrown towards a specific person.
But it's an open challenge.
Yeah.
Not a challenge to this person.
No, I'm putting out an open challenge to Damian Priest. And it's like,
it's not an open challenge.
No, it's not.
No, it's a direct challenge.
It's a direct challenge, but they're going through, and this is happening just about everywhere in wrestling, that they're calling it an open challenge.
Well, that's interesting.
I mean, you could lay out, say, an open challenge to Damian Priest and have Damian Priest pick the stipulation or something.
Yeah.
But no, that's not an open challenge. That's a direct challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yes. And now while we are at commercial break, I am going to ask, I know, Karl, you've seen it. Chris Best, have you seen the big concert announcement for the Machine Shop here locally?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he's going to sing his church music too.
I think so. Because I don't think he can actually play any of Saliva's actual old stuff.
Well, I don't know, because when Edwin came here, Edwin in the Pressure from I Mother Earth, he sang I Mother Earth tunes.
Right. And I went to the I Mother Earth Finger 11 show with Edwin back on vocals for I Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think I should probably get tickets anyways.
Show,
yes, it says the ticket portal could be up as early as tomorrow or next week.
Right.
So, but depending on ticket prices, because I mean, to go and see Josie Scott and Tantric would be fantastic.
Right. And I mean, I wouldn't even mind seeing the two local bands that are going to be here as well, right? Of course.
No, exactly.
Wait,
I have not seen them before.
Sorry, Chris?
Wait, Tantric's coming here with them?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm down.
It's Josie Scott, Saliva, Tantric, Sponge, Fort Creek from here, and then the other band's actually out of Barry, but features a couple of local boys.
Yeah.
Breakdown's one of my most favorite tunes from Tantric. So
Breakdown Morning, I couldn't even tell you, and I know Tantric have like 7 other albums or more.
Right.
And that's not to mention their previous band, Days of the New.
Right.
Touch, Peel, and Stand. That's such a phenomenal song. You just got me more excited, OMD. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I think it should be a good time.
I mean, even
I'm
if
okay
it's a
with that.
$50 ticket, I'll happily pay that.
Yeah. So anyways, going back to that Booker T looking for the World Television Championship, one person they had on that show that surprised me that he made an appearance on a WWE related show was Dan Lambert.
I'm not surprised at all. He's done it before.
I had no idea that he had any previous affiliation with WWE at some point. He's a major belt collector, so that's why they went to him.
Yes, he is.
He is, and he did Most Wanted Treasures last season too.
That's true. He did. Parrish, what up, my man? Parrish will be here in 15 minutes, he says. Awesome.
Wonderful.
He's going to be in a little earlier than normal.
Nice.
And I'm cool with that. You know what else I'm cool with?
That match between Seth Rollins and Almost? That was actually
soft-baked cookies.
The fact that they actually gave Omos some latitude and some work in the match and able to do something, I was okay with. But again, I'm still not entirely sold on the guy.
Oh, me neither. I still need more out of him.
But I know, like, even Jimmy Corderas today on his Ref and Rant said Seth carried the match, but they're killing all momentum with Omos when they have a future star in him. Where is a future star in Omos?
I don't see it.
And Ed pointed it out. I think it was Ed who pointed it out on the post show. Like, where do you go with him after this now? Does he just go back to dominating jobbers like he has been doing?
To the indies. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Get that seasoning.
No, because if he goes to the indies, he's going to go to Jacksonville.
Which is where Raw is, right?
Yes, but that's not what I mean.
He's talking the becoming elite.
Oh, yeah.
He'll go to Jacksonville and compete for ROH.
He'll take a trip down the road over to Daly's place.
Yep.
It was so cool to see Savio.
It was.
He's one of my favorite wrestlers out of the new generation era. I'll flat out say it. I was
never huge on him as Savio Vega. I loved him, of course, as Quang.
Yeah, I think he was entertaining as Quang.
Yes, he was.
Parrish is saying reform the Hurt Business and put Bobby in instead of Omos.
Well, there was all kinds of talk of that leading up to Mania, and then it never happened because Bobby Lashley didn't get anything at Mania.
Right.
Now, you do have Shelton and Cedric are free agents, as is Omos.
And MVP. So I'm wondering if they're going to reform the Hurt Business as a free agent stable.
I
wonder how that would work, though.
I don't know. That would be interesting for sure.
And by the way, my star of the night for Backlash, the crowd. They were my stars of the night.
Right.
I mean, that crowd was electric.
Oh, yeah.
That's the crowd you want for the Raw after WrestleMania. That's the crowd you want at Mania.
Oh, yeah.
When you get to go and do a PLE for the first time in 18 years in Puerto Rico, of course the crowd is going to be off the hook.
Yeah. And I mean, that's something that we've talked about before on Turnbuckle Talk is, having these pay-per-views, these premium live events, going to areas where they have not been before it's obviously going to create such a buzz with
Yep.
the crowd and with the people that they are going to be even more electric than usual.
Absolutely. And I mean, you look at Puerto Rico's wrestling heritage
Right.
as
And
well.
that's-
And I mean, you're looking at Damian Priest, even though he is from New York, he's of Puerto Rican descent. Zelina Vega and Bad Bunny. So you represented that crowd. And not just Puerto Rico, you represented Hispanics and Latinos.
And that's what I wanted to point out about the finish to the Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar match. It was a tribute to Bret Hart. Bret Hart is known as like a god in the Puerto Rican wrestling world because Stampede Wrestling and that had that relationship with Carlos Colon and his promotion down in Puerto Rico.
Yes, they did.
Right. And even here with our local establishment, we represent the Latinos and the Puerto Ricans as well with our very own Astrid Pizarro.
Yes.
She did a fantastic job hosting that show, the post show.
I'm glad that you were there to watch it, and I wish that more people would get involved with that as well to watch. Astrid is a star. And it's always a fun time doing the pre-shows or doing the post-shows. Or even when available, watch-alongs for the shows.
Yes.
Which we haven't really done too many of those, but we do for Monday Night Raw at least.
Yes.
I am really looking forward to this match.
Right, I was just going to say kind of the same thing. Like, we're getting ready for this first matchup that I think is going to be absolutely insane. Beautiful triple threat with Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth freaking Rollins, and Damian Priest. In the
Yes.
first round triple threat matchup in the World Heavyweight Championship tournament.
Yes. I'm kind of torn on this match as to who I even want to see win because I do enjoy all three.
I'd be happy
Although
with either one.
I'm a little burnt out on Seth.
Right. Mel, I stand corrected. Astrid is the star, not just a star. I would love to see Damian Priest win this tonight.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from, but I'd also like to see Shin win it because he's never had. I mean, he had that moment at WrestleMania a few years ago, but then has been relegated to the shelf and upper mid card status.
Right.
And he's just come back from his January 1st match against the Great Muta.
Yes.
So I'd like to see somebody, one of these. Maybe maybe because he's also a new draft pick to Raw after being on SmackDown for 3 years.
Well,
And I'd be happy with either one of the three winning, but what I want to see Raw do is set the landscape for what the Raw main event is going to look like out of these triple threat matches.
I'm almost thinking if Damian Priest wins, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to call it now, and it would be Damian Priest versus Finn Balor.
What a fantastic match that would be.
Right. And I love that commentary is actually kind of giving us a little bit of history, right? Letting us know that, Seth Rollins has held championships, but Shinsuke Nakamura has also held championships around the world.
Yes. And even Damian Priest is a former Ring of Honor television champion.
I was going to say I'm not familiar with Damian Priest's championship reigns outside of WWE. So
you need to look up Punishment Martinez, and that'll give you.
I need to really brush up on my ROH history a little more.
Yes, and he actually won that title in his debut match in Ring of Honor.
Yep. So the WWE already has a replica of the World Heavyweight Championship available for purchase.
I was going to point it out. They put it up for sale minutes after the Raw where they announced it.
Yeah.
They put it up for sale on their website.
And it looks like a replica. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does. That's where if I want a true replica of the belt, I'll go to Fandu Belts for it.
Whenever they decide to make one, and hopefully they will kind of maybe sort of make one, it's really hard for Fandu to be able to do these different things because you really have to change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Down below, fandubelts.com, I have a Fandu Big Gold. I have a Fandu Tag Team Championship, and if I could get my hands on more from Fandu Belts, I definitely will.
Yeah. And now I'm getting an ad for Fasten Your Seatbelts with John Cena, Jason Momoa, and what appears to be Ronda Rousey.
Oh, God.
I'm probably just going to watch that because I've watched the first 9 and I'm just going to wrap up the story with it, you know?
Right.
Yes, except then you're going to get the spin-offs.
I hope not.
I've only watched Hobbs and Shaw when it comes to the spin-offs. So.
Well, it's the only spin-off that there is, but...
Yeah.
10 is more than enough. Leave it at that.
Yes, please.
Funny thing is, I've said the same thing about Friday the 13th movies and Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but anytime there's one announced, I'm excited and want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I'm sort of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other on those.
I don't know if it's got anything to do with a little bit of horror or suspense. I'm all in.
Yes, I'm more into the crime, the drama, the action. Like, I'm looking forward to the new Transformers coming out in June.
Yeah, and see, that's a franchise I'm done with now. So,
well, after the last few with Mark Wahlberg, yes, it had gone down, but Bumblebee stepped in, saved it. So, I gave up on Spider-Man. So,
I gave up on Terminator, sadly, and that's my most favorite action series.
yeah.
So now when I want to watch the Terminator movies, I only watch the first 3 and the TV show, and that's it.
I see.
And I only watch the TV show because Shirley Manson from Garbage is in it, and she's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's amazing.
Yeah. If we get the Priest win and Priest versus Balor, I'm going to call it that Mommy will step in and prevent them from fighting and just award the title shot to Dom.
Oh, God, no. No.
My brain went to when Shawn Michaels and Hunter fought for the European title, and they just made a complete mockery out of it.
Right.
Yep.
And that was only because Sergeant Slaughter ordered that they have a match in.
So for anyone in Canada that actually wants to take a look and see that championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, and how much it is, WWE has allowed WWE Shop.ca to be available now.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, so you can go and take a look in Canadian pricing. They have deals where, it's $75 or more, and they give you free shipping in Canada. So they've thankfully now opened it up for us Canadians.
Yes.
You just reminded me of something for online shopping, Karl.
Oh. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's actually a really good thing. It's actually something to do with one of our sponsors.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to do this afternoon, but never got around to it. But I am ordering off Rogue Energy right now.
Oh, nice. And while you're there, make sure that you're using that promo code that's ticking down at the bottom, OLE Pods, for 10% off your entire order.
Now, I did not see Drew McIntyre's name in any of the brackets for the triple threats.
Yeah, there's a lot of top names that aren't in the tournament that I'm wondering about.
Yeah, and that one top name that's really ticked me off is LA Knight.
Yes. Yes, no, I completely understand. I completely agree. Another guy who has been a champion everywhere he's gone.
Right. We've got a triple down going on right now. Holy.
Okay.
Welcome in, my friend.
Hello, hello.
Saw that you finally got everything all situated. Earbuds put in, so.
Yes. Welcome, Parrish. How we doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm going to have Raw on one side. I'm going to have the Oiler game on the other side. So this is going to be a good night.
Nice.
So, how are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yes. Very well. Even though it was supposed to be a long day, it was actually not too bad. So.
Yeah, I'm very happy that our weather was not cooperative and allowed me to get off work at a reasonable time.
Nice.
There you go. See, there's always a silver lining, even in bad weather.
Supposedly the gods in the world understood that in order to stop our places from burning, we need water. So it rained a lot.
I saw that on the news, actually, just before I tuned into Raw, Parrish.
I am very sad to see Damian Priest in a match with Seth Rollins that isn't the main event of the night.
Right? No way. Oh. Holy jumping Jiminy Cricket.
That look on Seth's face, man.
Wow. What a match this has been so far.
How much would the New Japan crowd erupt if the main event of Monday Night Raw was Shinsuke versus Finn Balor?
Right?
That would be fantastic.
It would be great things that they've already seen, but would definitely want to see again. Shinsuke and Rollins are just fantastic right now in this ring too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm just completely mesmerized by them right now.
Yep.
I had to put my phone away from doing my order to watch this.
Oh. Whoa.
Oh, nice.
Oh, those little things. The
Yep.
little things in the business. Parrish, do you see that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, these little that Damian Priest doing exactly what he should be doing.
Yep.
Oh.
Not to go off topic for a second, but you're talking about the little things, and if the people in the chat are on YouTube, something little that goes a long way is hitting that like button and helping us out.
That was quite the finish.
Yes, it was.
And that's why I hated the fact that Damian Priest was in this match with Seth, because Seth, in my eyes, is winning this title. But I
Right.
think after Backlash, Damian Priest deserves a push of a lifetime with his work.
Oh,
But
he
that's-
absolutely does.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying about these triple threat matches just before Parrish. I really think that they're going to be setting the landscape for the main events for Raw, for SmackDown with these two triple threat matches.
And if you notice too, Damian Priest did not take that pin there, so that means he's looking strong.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Even
Talking
still
about the little
being
things.
injured, he's looking strong.
yeah, a foreshadow of that. But
Well, that means we're not going to get the main event that I was hoping for tonight, which was going to be Priest versus Finn. But
Right.
no, I have a feeling you might see Seth against Finn. I still think Brock Lesnar comes out to screw Cody Rhodes, and that continues.
see, what I'd like to see, and you're going to see it tonight, but I would love to have seen Seth versus Finn in the finals in Saudi Arabia, going back to the Universal title match.
Okay. Oh, Parrish, did you hear Chris's little idea of what's going to be happening with these championships? Did you get to hear that at all at the beginning of the show?
I did not, but I did hear that there's redesigns coming for a lot of them.
Oh, well, Chris Best, please indulge us once again and let us know what your thoughts are on the World Championship.
Yeah. Okay. So this all stemmed from when I was watching A&E's Most Wanted Treasures last night. They were looking for the WCW World Television Championship, the one that Booker T held, Disco Inferno, all them names.
William Regal.
Yeah. And it got me thinking how WCW had World in like the majority of their title names.
Yeah.
We've got the United States title already on SmackDown. What if somebody from SmackDown wins the World Heavyweight title? Cody Rhodes loses tonight. As you had said, maybe he gets screwed by Brock Lesnar or somebody like that. But then he uses his rematch clause to challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight title at Night of Champions and brings that WWE Championship over to Raw.
I like the idea, but there's one flaw. WWE negated rematch clauses a long time ago, and Cody Rhodes does not get a rematch for the world title. Like, he's not included to have one.
Oh.
Because
right.
he was not champion before, so therefore he has to earn another shot.
Okay, but he could still earn that shot in some way or another.
Absolutely. And it's going to be, I think it's going to come down to him or LA Knight at Money in the Bank.
After Backlash, I think Damian Priest should definitely be a strong consideration for Money in the Bank.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
100.
And I know we're looking at KO and Sammy with Vinci and Kaiser right now. And trust me, all in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But if Ludwig Kaiser was to win Money in the Bank, I would be okay with that, because do not sleep on the potential of that guy.
No,
Same with Giovanni Vinci. Those are the two of the most underrated singles competitors. Just happen to be a very good tag team.
absolutely.
Oh, yes.
But at the same time, KO, Sami Zayn, exact same thing.
Yeah.
The
Right.
talent level in WWE is second to none. It really is.
That face on Chad when he does that shush.
Right? He owns
My
that.
sound on this is a little behind,
Yeah.
so I just gotta. What do you think about that turtleneck? Such a good line by KO.
Yeah, Chad Gable just owns that character, and it's very, very cool to see.
Yes.
I'm so glad that he's actually been able to move on from being Steiner Brothers 2.0, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
It's because Braun Breaker is now Steiner Brother 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. While we are at commercial break, I'm going to take a quick run to the urination station.
Okay.
And I've got to go find my credit card, so I'll be right back.
Oh. We're going to have somebody making a purchase from Rogue Energy.
Maybe he's going to try that limited edition Tiger Blood flavor that is still there for a limited time.
I don't know. It depends now on what he decided to break inside of his kitchen there, if he might have to put that money towards that now.
Well, if he's finding his credit card, he's probably breaking the bank.
That wasn't no. That might have been OMD there.
Oh.
Well, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on, or I don't know.
Yeah.
That was
one way or the other,
because he's not happy. He's not getting Damian Priest and Finn Balor tonight.
Because he's not here, he's probably unhappy because his team hasn't won a game yet in round 2. But
I was going to ask him what's he think about that right now, because they're getting swept pretty bad.
I'll let him kind of not feel the guilt now, but when he's away.
And thank you to all of you that have decided to join us here and spend a little bit of your time on Monday night with us as we watch and discuss the happenings of Monday Night Raw.
So I obviously did not see the beginning of Monday Night Raw, but did they include a drone shot like they have? Or was that just a Puerto Rico thing?
That was just a Puerto Rico thing, and I wish they would have continued with it because I loved that drone.
I do, but there's something that I was talking with Bobby on Busting Out about now. If they were to bring that for their larger crowd shows, just to make those feel additionally special, I would be 100% okay with it, because that was, and I think it's universally like this, it was one of the coolest things that we saw.
Oh yeah. No, it definitely was. Like I was blown away. I'm like, this is absolutely insane. I loved seeing it coming from outside, coming into the stadium and doing it circle around. Like it was just such a cool thing to see that if they not gonna do it on television, then yes, it needs to be done for all the PLEs now.
Yeah. And just as OMD, you're coming back, we're talking about the drone shot.
Yes.
In Puerto Rico.
Okay. Yes, that was fantastic.
Right.
I feel like though that it was the same shot, like the same style shot that they did on SmackDown too. Like,
oh yeah,
there was like it seemed way too similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
right.
both shows were in Puerto Rico though, so
yeah,
that's what I'm kind of curious about.
No, I mean, like what I think they did was they did the shot live on SmackDown and then recycled the same shot at the start of Backlash. Like they just played that footage from the night before.
Oh no, it was definitely different.
Oh, it was?
Oh yeah.
It just looked very, very similar to me.
I think they did the same type of shot, and because it's in the same arena and all that, it's going to look a lot the same. Because I think the Friday SmackDown was a test. Well, they're like, okay, yeah, this is going to be something
Regardless, though, that was awesome. Yeah. I kind of want to see them maybe use drone shots during during the matches or something. I don't know.
What I miss, and I think everyone here will remember, is back when they had like the ladder matches, like, and I go back to the Razor versus Shawn at 10. It's that ceiling shot where it's looking down.
Cam.
Yeah, I really miss that camera shot once in a while.
Right.
So if they were to do that, whether it's with Money in the Bank or ladder matches, maybe even like the odd cage, and you put something like that on the top of a cell or something.
Right.
I think that could look pretty cool.
Leeds delivers. Thank you so much for popping in. And yes, a great triple threat to start out with tonight. It was fantastic to see that. All three of those guys putting it out on the line, giving us a good show to start out with. I absolutely enjoyed it.
So here's my confirmation. If my camera can focus on it, from Rogue Energy.
Nice. What did you pick up?
I did the $12.99 starter pack. I'm kind of a cheap ass, but
that's okay.
Hey, yeah. You know what? That's smart though, because you don't know yet what you're going to get, so you might as well do something small like that, and then if you like it, you can commit later.
That was my exact thought when I.
Well, once again, on that pack. Thank you for doing that, and hopefully you saved a little bit of cash using that promo code.
I did.
Oh yeah. What's nice is that they have both Canadian and American pricing on that site. So regardless of what country you're from, if you're from Mexico, then, I mean, clearly you're going to have a different type of situation on your hand, but yeah.
What in the actual...
I love it. I love it.
I think it's great as well. I did not expect that, though. Wow.
That's why I picked up my phone, because I was like, yeah, another job match for Mustafa, whatever.
Right? Because that's what Mustafa Ali has been lately. He's just been that jobber. Clearly not, though. Wow.
And don't get me wrong, Mustafa Ali is a wrestler I want to care for, but if he keeps jobbing like that, it kind of makes it hard for you to care for the guy.
It does. Leeds, you know what? I'm not a fan of this Otis story either. I am a huge fan of Otis.
It feels too much like a Mandy Rose love story.
It does. It does. It feels just rehash.
Yep, which is something I said back when this first started. I don't like it. Now you do have the maximum male models who can come in and stir the pot. You now have, Pretty Deadly went to SmackDown. But you do have Los Lotharios who can come in and stir the pot, as they tried to get in with maximum male models before as well.
Right. And yes, Chris Best, we do have this second triple threat matchup with Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, and The Miz happening right now to give enough time for recuperation before the main event tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say it feels a little bit rushed that we're going to the next one, but I understand why they're doing it now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the winners will main event the show. But
ding dong, hello.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I want to start watching SmackDown is just to see Bayley harass Michael Cole again.
Right.
I can't wait for the day where Io and Dakota turn on Bayley, and we see that Michael Cole Bayley they reconcile. Like, that is going to be a big moment.
Right. Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah, I think it was a great idea as well to have the triple threats after the PLE or the pay-per-view, and especially with now we have the new landscape of Raw, we have the new landscape of SmackDown. Let's build these people, let's build these stars, and let's show everyone using triple threat matches who is going to be at the forefront of the company as we move forward before we get to the next draft.
Like I said, I feel like these triple threat matches are going to lay out the landscape for our main event scene for both Raw and SmackDown.
Yes.
Yep.
Since we just had Chris Best order from RogueEnergy.com, let's take a look and see what Rogue Energy and OLE have partnered up with here and what you can expect from Rogue Energy when you go to RogueEnergy.com. Everybody, RogueEnergy.com, lots of great energy drinks over there. Less sugar, no crash. It's all good stuff over there. Use that promo code OLE Pods for 10% off your order. Not the first time, but every single time. And it helps support this program and the rest of the programs with our local establishment as well. Lead says, hopefully, having these triple threats and stuff like that is going to hopefully maybe filter out the bottom feeders as well. LOL.
One of the things I do want to add on to what you were saying earlier, Chris, is you will get a landscape of okay, who's going to be your main event scene, and I think it's very important to establish, your world title selection of crop of talents.
Yeah.
While you have your intercontinental selection and crop of talents, your women's title, your women's tag, and they're on an Air Force, and people trying to break through into one of those. I think that's very important to have. And I think if you're able to establish that moving forward with this brand extension, you're going to help so many talent, but also at the end of the day, the product is going to just become that much better because it's now that much more complete.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about too. Because this afternoon I got into a Fabulous Rougeau's mood and started watching a bunch of old Fabulous Rougeau matches.
Right.
And then one of them, Gorilla Monsoon, pointed out just how deep their roster was at that time, and that's what I want to see coming out of Raw and SmackDown. I want to see just how deep this talent pool for Raw and SmackDown will get and how they will make them be. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right, of course.
So we have the man who kicked off Raw now coming out to end the first hour of Raw in Cody Rhodes.
This is going to be a very Cody-centric show, I think.
That is why I believe that there's something going to happen with Cody at the end. And with the way the match ended at Backlash just screamed, this ain't over.
Right. No, you're right.
And there's no way a guy like Brock Lesnar not only should accept a loss in general, let alone a loss where he put a move on. He was in the offensive mode.
Yes.
So he has to want payback.
Oh, of course. Cody Rhodes started out the first hour, ending out the first hour. And as long as this match goes for another 5 minutes, will be part of the starting of the second hour.
The
This
one thing
match
I just
didn't go for a while.
the one thing I just don't see is I don't see Cody Rhodes going to the finals, losing in a way like that, and Seth Rollins, who's a babyface, winning in that way. It's kind of why I expect Finn Balor to be the guy that comes out of this match.
Right.
Understandable. Yep.
Well, the story they've been pushing with Finn in this tournament is the fact that he won the Universal title, got injured during that match, and was forced to forfeit it the next night.
Yes,
True.
which is hence why I would love to see, instead of the main event tonight, I would love to see Finn and Seth at Night of Champions.
Okay.
Also, I just got to say this. I'm wearing a Cody Rhodes shirt, and both Cody Rhodes and myself is sporting some KT tape on their left shoulder. How hilariously ironic is that?
Nice.
Does that tape actually work? I've always wondered that.
Oh, yeah.
You just tweeted Cody and you coordinated with him, didn't you, Parrish?
Well, you know, we kind of go back and forth with advice, and I ask him about baby advice, and he asks me about wrestling advice. It just works.
Right.
There we go. There we go.
There was something peculiar, actually, I noticed on social media like just a couple of days ago. Matt Cardona has started up his Long Island IC YouTube channel again, or Facebook channel, I should say.
Really?
Yes, he did. I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but I'm perplexed as to why he did that.
Oh, I have nothing to go on, but if he's not in WWE at all in this calendar year, I'd be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You too.
If he shows up tonight, I'd be jacked.
I don't think he's coming tonight because I did see a thing today, and he's going to be doing a show in Buffalo.
Okay.
Oh, and he also wrapped up his engagements with Impact. He's done with Impact now.
Yes, he's been done with them for a couple of months.
And
Okay,
that
so
really
Leeds-
adds Leeds' question there.
Yeah. Leeds is definitely, that's exactly what he asked. Do you think Matt will stay with Impact? He's wasted there.
Now, a photo did research, or I don't want to say resurface, but surfaced on the internet about the AEW collision and stuff, and some of the names came out.
Okay.
Matt Cardona's name was on that. However, I do want to say I did watch something about the Royal Rumble. There was something that leaked out, and it was incorrect. So in case people are wondering about that, I wouldn't necessarily put stock into it. However, it might be correct. It might not be. So don't take this with, he's going to go there. But at the same time, be aware that that could also be a fake, just like the Royal Rumble one. Even though they had Rhea as the winner, they had her coming in at like entry, I think like 18, whereas we all know that she was the Iron Woman that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
One and done.
That's why I took Matt Cardona restarting his Long Island IC Facebook page with just a grain of salt, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
See where it goes, you know?
Well, he also might own that gimmick. He might own that stuff, though, too. So why not?
I believe he owns Long Island IZ. Yes. Yeah. So as I'm just reading now, due to an issue, due to New Japan Pro Wrestling scheduling, talent, and availability issues, the NJPW Oceania Cup has been postponed, and Friday, June 30th, and Saturday, July 1st, in New South Wales, Australia, will be Impact.
Interesting.
They are doing a 4-day 2-show.
Where's your source for that?
ImpactWrestling.com.
Perfect. Okay. I just want to make sure that things are credible.
Yep.
Direct in the mouth, basically.
Right? Leeds has a good idea here. Imagine Matt Cardona and MJF in AEW. I think he says that would be fire. I think that would be forced fire.
Yeah.
As a Alberta resident, I'm going to stay away from a forest fire right now.
Understandable.
Yes. I just sent you the link, Carl.
Perfect.
Yeah,
That
you
could
guys are
very well be something that
expected to
I
get more
discuss
forest fires 'cause of
tomorrow.
the big thunderstorm happening up there now, eh?
I mean, all I know is where I live, we're okay. I'm just it's very unfortunate with a lot of things, a lot of evacuation. There's been a lot of people allowed to go back, which is very nice and reassuring. However, there's still area that doesn't have power or anything. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, when people hear that they don't have power, I know like they're like, "Oh my god, I can't charge my phone." But think about like you don't have power to have your fridge open or to store your groceries. You're going to waste a lot of money just on food, and food, as we all know, is not cheap. So, I mean, that's a very unfortunate aspect with a lot of things.
Tony Campbell. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for popping in.
Hey.
Definitely giving our best to all of those that are out in that area as well. Even one of my paramindful colleagues just received the phone call to go and help with the fight in those fires. So, Alex, be safe. And we're definitely thinking about you, my friend.
Okay.
Leeds is saying Cody is amazing, but the other two are doing their job. I fully agree with
Yeah,
that.
this is a fantastic match so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I apologize. It appears as though I have to go and make a quick phone call.
Yes. Finn Balor's looking straight dominant tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, one of those Rougeau matches I watched was from like 1987, where they took on the Pitbulls before they became the Pitbulls.
Oh.
And that was interesting.
Tony, we're looking at forest fires in Alberta. That's the that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And I
As per
hope that
OMB,
that's
we don't
what
know.
you're.
It could have been the phone call that he was coming in, but
I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure, but I know that something bad is forest fires as well. I'm hoping that the call is okay, but his voice did sound a little unsure. So now, okay, so I'm seeing the graphics here, and is this only going to be just for what is happening right now? But I'm seeing the graphics that say the World Championship.
yeah. So
Are we going to be
I
continuing to call it the World Championship?
think so.
Okay.
There was something, and I don't have a locked-in source, but it's something I've heard from multiple sources.
Okay.
Is that there is a plan to make a new championship for Roman. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's referred to as just WWE champion and you go to the world. I heard something similar could happen.
Oh, there it is. He called it, Parrish.
Ooh, look at that face. Ooh.
Oh.
Not only all stitched up, but also a black eye. Yes, Tony,
also, how bad is that?
about
Badass is that T-shirt?
Right?
That's a nice T-shirt.
Tony is saying shit that's bad. I remember when Gettenberg in Tennessee burned down. I grew up down there. Horrible shit. Yeah, these forest fires definitely are horrible. They seem to be a yearly occurrence, and every year they seem to be able to fight them a little better and better each time. But
well, a lot of time too with the ones in Alberta. I don't know if for sure this is the case, but it comes down to a lot of people who smoke, not exactly recycling, the end of the cigarette butts so well. And just understand that there is a responsible way to do that. I don't smoke. So
what I used to do because of where
don't come at me with like, oh, you don't smoke, you don't understand. I hang out with a lot of people that do. But putting your butt somewhere safe, like an ashtray or something responsible, prevents things from getting worse.
What OMD
But
used to, and I used to do, because we both used to, I don't know if OMD still does, but I do. I smoke, but OMD and I used to camp at the same camp together. And whenever we went to go and have a cigarette, we were surrounded by bush all the time. So when we were done with our butts, we'd put them out on our shoe and stick them in our pocket. And then the next time we found a trash, we'd throw it in the trash.
yeah. And there we go. There's a comment right there. What I was saying. That's a pretty solid shirt.
Yeah.
It looks like that cut is about to open up again with the way he's
Right.
screaming.
Yeah. I love this version of Lesnar. And the confidence he has talking and being that guy.
Oh yeah.
And the
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a scary.
And
That's
the
a scary
foaming-
guy.
The foaming at the mouth like he's rabid.
Okay.
That was a great WrestleMania, by the way. Let's just say,
Yeah.
Fantastic WrestleMania. But Tony, just so we can get to know you a little bit better, where are you from, and how did you find us? By the way, let's go there, because I'm very intrigued with how people come across our channel and whatnot. Let us know a little bit more about you, if you don't mind.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yes,
What did I miss?
Tony, Paul Heyman has taught him well. So what you missed was Lesnar coming out, taking out Cody, as you know, Parrish had already kind of explained and thought was going to happen. Then we get Finn Balor, who wins the matchup with now Brock Lesnar getting on the mic and pretty much going, Cody, what do you want to talk about? So what do you want to talk about? Lesnar goes, I want to talk about me, and that he wants a fight. So he has now put it out there for a fight against Cody at Night of Champions.
Right. I actually came out just as I was putting my headphones on, I saw Brock holding Cody's head and heard him say, "You, me, Night of Champions."
Right.
I was wondering if there was a special stipulation or something like that maybe coming, or
He said
Nothing
fight,
yet.
so I'm wondering some kind of step is coming.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it would be. Your phone call was all good. Everything's okay.
yeah. It was just
All
my
right.
dad wanting to know if I could pick him up in the morning.
Okay. No,
missed your
that's
dad,
awesome. We just
OMG.
wanted to make sure that things weren't the things were okay on your end.
Yeah,
Lee Heyman has taught him well. Yes.
Just to showcase how awesome life can be, though, when you're a child, how often you have those car rides, with your father. Now the fact that it's pretty cool to have little things like that just go full circle. And those car rides with your parents, man, you really don't realize until you get older how awesome those are. So the fact that you can still have them and you have that opportunity like that's really cool.
Well, I can't say the same because I don't know who my dad is. My grandfather filled out for those roles. So anytime we took rides to go watch the Sioux Greyhounds, I used to take those rides for granted. But now that I'm in my 40s and I think back on that, I'm like, dude, those were awesome moments.
Yeah.
Right. So Tony is coming in and saying that Tony grew up in Tennessee, now lives in Indiana. He's usually away from home on Mondays and found the channel by searching Live Raw Watch Along. Awesome. And
nice.
You know what? We're glad that you did as well. That's what we try to do here. We try to have such a good vibe. We just try to be as positive as we can and just, kind of shoot the shit and just make things fun.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. There's no debate here. We all.
No, but
sorry.
I kind of want to give a backstory, kind of an idea of how the name our local establishment started. because I think it's pretty cool. And given the fact that people recognize the vibe, I think this is a great thing. We're talking, like I was talking about, things coming in full circle. So it was like a bunch of us. I had left Love Wrestling for a brief time, and we use a thing called Slack. And I created one because I just wanted to keep contact with some of the people there.
Right.
And I called one, and I love the old school pub, right? Like the ones that are like wooden and they look old, but they look like old fashioned more or less.
Right.
There's something amazing about that.
Basically like the set of Cheers, right?
In a way, yeah. But there's always that phrase. It's like our local establishment, right? An establishment is to me, it's such an old school word. It's like in hockey or in sports, you always hear arena or center. I miss the Coliseum days. But that's a whole different topic. So I had named that Slack, like the group name, our local establishment. So then later, when a few other people had left wrestling, and we thought, why don't we start something? It was actually Karl, when talking about the name, it's like, let's just use that because it's what's kind of there. And it's really cool because I still feel like this is kind of like, instead of visualizing that we're on a screen and stuff like that, we're really just at a pub table watching what we want to watch, enjoying what we enjoy, and just being friends. And you can have a drink, you can eat some food, whatever the case is. But that's some of the best times you have, is just being with your buddies and enjoying the things that you love. And the way that it connects you is so empowering. And that's kind of really the backstory.
OMD, you can vouch me on this, but when we used to go to Blue Liners to watch the pay-per-views every month, how awesome was that?
Oh, it was a blast. I mean, and even before that, there was the Purple Lantern.
Yep. So leads through Tom Colahue. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for coming by. Tom is a very good friend of ours. Absolutely love what he does with Spoiler Warning. Great guy. He has been such a wealth of knowledge for us, and we're glad that you were able to come to us through him. Tony is saying, well, hello from the U.S. What time is it over there? And Lead is telling us that it is actually 2:12 a.m. But he's at work because he does nights. So
we're actually all on different time zones. That's the funny
we are.
thing. Like,
how awesome!
The three of us.
Like for me, it's 7:15. For you guys, it's 9:15.
It's 9:15 for OMD, Chris Best, and myself. So
yep. And yes, Leeds is going to be 5 hours ahead of us.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I have no problems like saying this. Like, one of my things, if I can make it a thing, I want to be the first guy in OLE to have face-to-face met everyone here. And I think that'd be really cool. Because a lot of us haven't actually met each other face-to-face.
No,
not yet.
The time where we saw Bobby and I do Busting Out and we did the meetup, I know it looked really weird. Like, okay, you guys are in the same room, but still doing it on different landscapes. That's because we haven't figured out that connection. But getting a chance to meet people, I mean, how cool is that? You have that relationship built, and it's pretty unreal. Like, Karl, you and I have known each other for almost 3 years, and we've never met. And, had my seed doesn't work, we would have met each other.
We would have.
Here.
And Leads. Tom Colahue was off for a week, a much-deserved break and rest for him. So I'm glad that you were able to get your fix here at our local establishment.
Oh, I'm loving that.
What's the face for?
Hi, Astrid.
I am loving that.
I was talking about my seed.
I am loving that first SmackDown match. AJ Styles, Edge, and I believe it's Ray.
Yeah. Right, Leeds?
I'm
How
looking
dare
at the
he have a
entire
holiday?
It's almost like because I think we all know that if AJ Styles was in the WWE back in that time, he would have been one of those SmackDown 6. So it almost feels like that throwback to that old
Right.
SmackDown 6.
I feel like that was the whole point of
Well,
SmackDown.
you're coming here, Astrid, so you saved me a trip. So that's fine. You know,
I will put this out there. If there is anybody that is going to be going on the next Chris Jericho cruise, I will be there. So if you want to meet up, you want to see me face to face, you're more than welcome to come and find me or message me on my socials. Linktree/Karl Karufel is the easiest place for you to find all of those socials. And I would love to go and visit you in Orlando as long as we can go to Disney. How's that, Astrid?
or NXT.
Oh, and
Yes.
to go see an NXT would be
Yeah.
great too. Tony's
Yeah.
asking what WrestleMania y'all meeting up at.
Well, we might have to look for 2 years in Nashville.
Or we can wait till they
Yeah.
come to Minneapolis because that's they've put out a bid for WrestleMania 43. I want to say
I think so.
Yes.
because Minnesota's not far.
Oh
from
dear
where
God, Dana Brooke is going to
Carl
get
and I are
murdered.
from.
Dominic Mysterio
Cleveland
is one
rocks.
of the best organic stories there is.
Agreed. Such a heat magnet, and I'm so glad that WWE has capitalized on that because I remember last Tuesday they put out one of their little shorts there, and they were like, "Check out the heat Dominic Mysterio gets."
Yes. Okay. So Dana Brooke is going to get absolutely slaughtered, but they're giving Dana Brooke TV time.
Did you see the little kid in the corner who didn't even put his hand up for Dana Brooke and she just fist bumped at his hand anyways?
No.
Hilarious.
I like that kid.
Me too.
That kid and I, we need to share a pack of Gushers because I think we became best friends.
Astrid, I am a Disney adult as well. If you'd like to watch some really cool stuff that happens at Disney, check out my friends with Resort TV 1 on YouTube. Every Friday, they have a live stream for like 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, just going through Disney. Great people over there. I love everything having to do with Disney. Nashville isn't too far away from Tony.
I will definitely love to go to Smashville. I'm not even going to lie.
Yep.
Leeds didn't like the story at first, but it's grown on him, this whole condom story.
Okay.
So I got to ask you, Tony, are you a Tennessee Titans fan by chance? And if you are, Will Levis, are you into that or no? I'm a big football guy, Saints guy, Oiler guy. Come on.
Dana Brooke with a bulldog. She's getting offense.
I was just gonna say, I'm very glad that they're allowing her to get some offense going on.
Yes, but I
Okay,
do not think she should put up at all a similar fight than Zelina Vega.
No.
No, because here
And
comes
I'm
the finish now.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley is just on a different level.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
Literally,
So I got to be about
level.
20 seconds behind because I just got the bulldog and now the crossbody.
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies.
So no worries. I'm on the USA feed tonight because I know of the Oilers game. I didn't know if it was going to be on every Sportsnet channel or
Right.
Well, I'm actually watching Raw and the Oiler game on SmackDown channels. Or Sportsnet channels, sorry.
Ah.
Okay, Tony. I got to ask, why do you have two teams? I was brought up thinking that was taboo.
I'm not a huge
We're not
football
dirty.
watcher,
No.
but
We're not dirty. How dare you? You're a Bears fan. They were dirty in the past.
I'm not a huge watcher of football. I do enjoy watching
sorry,
it.
that was the Leeds, not Tony. I apologize, Tony.
Yes.
I apologize.
But I was always taught that
wrong.
you have to pick a team. So I decided to pick the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Although I do have a soft spot for the Bengals, so I get it, but it's because they usually sign our guys. So
see, and I'm a Dolphins fan. I have been since I was 3 years old. I fell in love with the colors as a kid, and then they drafted a guy named Dan.
There you go. Tony just got home. His kid's a huge Cody Mark and rewatching Backlash. Nice.
Cody.
This is kind of nice to see as well.
Yes.
It's
I
different.
kind of want this.
And it's fresh. I like it.
Right? It is.
And going for the teams I picked for football, not from the NFL, I'm going with the Montreal Alouettes.
Okay.
I like that Natalia has this different demeanor about her.
Right? Right?
Where it's like, I'm going to come up to you. Test me. It's almost like that Undertaker, that American Badass. Like, if you try me, I'll make you famous kind of a deal. So I kind of like that confidence that we're seeing out of Natalia.
Right. But I do have to ask is why haven't they done this belt switch yet with Bianca and Rhea? You had the perfect opportunity.
New titles. I think that there's new titles coming for the women's, and I think that's what they're gonna have. I think they're waiting for those.
I'm pretty sure.
From what I understand,
is going to be changing.
Women titles are going to be redesigned. The tag titles are going to get redesigned. Both brands are going to have their own. You could hear the term world tag titles on one brand and WWE tag titles on another.
Okay.
I've also heard that Roman is going to get a new title, just one title for him, and that NXT is going to get refurbished looking titles.
Okay.
And another thing I heard from Tom Cullahu is apparently brand pay-per-views / PLEs are coming back.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I'm not upset about that.
I'm not either, but if let's say SmackDown has a pay-per-view that month, I kind of would like to see a special episode of Raw, just so that they can still give us a reason to care to watch Raw, you know?
You know what? If they're going to do that, I would say, then you do. I already think that WWE has too many with your 12 monthly plus your international special events plus the takeovers. I think you do 6 big ones. So your Royal Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Then you do Money in the Bank, and then you can do your Hell in a Cell, whatever you want to do, and then do 6 NXTs and call it there. Where you go to the competition in AEW, and they've got Fyter Fest, Road Rager, so they do these things that drag out over a Wednesday and Friday or over a 2-week span.
Right.
And I think that that's where AEW has it right. They're not trying to pollute the pay-per-view or PLE scene. They're trying to keep it simple in that regard. Now,
exactly.
do I think they're going to get to 12 pay-per-views? Very much so.
Zoe Stark challenged Nikki Cross to a match.
Yes, Zoe Stark did. Good night, Tony. Thank you so much for popping in. If you're wanting to pop back in after dinner time, you're more than welcome to, and we would,
please do
definitely welcome you back in.
Yeah, but thank you for checking out the channel. If you aren't, and we appreciate you allowing us to get to know you a little bit.
Have your dinner, and we'll be the dinner entertainment for you guys.
Right?
Whoa, now,
nice.
I mean, our one of our former old bars used to have dinner and theater. That was the old Purple Lantern.
Right, they did.
Gotta love those names, eh? For those old, like everyone has them. Like we had like the purple onion. Like
I love those old bar names.
yeah, like some of the
Yeah.
names are just fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's what Parrish, you alluded to it earlier, but I do miss the names like the Gardens, the Coliseum when it comes to arenas. I kind of hate the corporate names that they have nowadays.
Well, I remember when Pittsburgh had the Igloo, and it was just
Yep.
fantastic.
Yeah.
There was the Igloo. There was the Odd in Buffalo. You had Northlands Coliseum. You know, Toronto had Maple Leaf Gardens. Calgary, well, it's always just been Calgary in the Grapple Dome.
They're looking to get a new arena, though, from what I've read.
Yes.
And that's why I'm glad our local arena went back to being the Memorial Gardens.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Leeds is saying the only thing about AEW is that they have million of different factions, and it gets boring for him.
Okay.
All of the different factions.
Okay. And I can completely respect and understand his point. I agree to an extent. But you're starting to see that same thing happening here in WWE.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah. But the one thing I don't think WWE is going to do that AEW did do is make trios titles, which I understand. It can make your product different, but they have too many titles as it is.
Right.
And then
Yes.
when they refuse to go forward with a Ring of Honor TV slot and use those titles on TV, it's a watered down perception with what title matches feel like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the one thing I love about what WWE does is they make that gang wars mentality
Yes.
a little bit more real.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, because I am a factions guy. Like, I loved back in the day when you had the Nation of Domination and DX and Los Boricuas and
Disciples of Apocalypse.
yes.
Yeah.
And every time I think of like
I have those figures, actually.
Nice.
Every time I think
Nice.
of AEW and Trios Championships, I don't think of AEW at all. When I hear Trios Championships, I think of CMLL and AAA because it's the Trios titles there that make them those two companies stand
Right.
out.
But then Ring of Honor did it. And now you don't hear anything about the Ring of Honor Trios titles. Now it's the AEW Trios titles.
Right.
Yet you've got the Embassy is the Ring of Honor Trios champions.
And it's almost gotten to the point where every company, including local indie companies, are bringing in trios championships because it's the hip thing to do, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
So the WWE not bringing that in just once again
It's going to make
kind
them
of
stand
sets
out.
them a little apart from just piggybacking off of whatever is cool to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the thing. WWE is not the company that says we want to be cool. They want to be bigger than cool.
Right.
And that's just the thing. It's a different thing. Like a lot of times we look at WWE as fans and we think, why don't they just do this? Because their mindset is going to one way. Yet they're the mindset of, okay, well, we took kind of like your idea, but we want to make it larger. And it's kind of like taking indie to professional level.
Right.
Or basic to professional. You know, like it's that difference.
Absolutely love Imperium.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
And I can't remember who pointed it out on the post show because Parrish, you might remember. But triple threat matches don't belong on pay-per-views, really. They feel like just random Raw or SmackDown matches for WWE.
Yeah, but I also really like the.
I like that
the
triple threat or that
I
six.
really like. I really like the triple threat match they had at Backlash, though, with Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley.
That was fantastic.
I meant six-man tag, not triple threat.
Yeah, 6-man. Yeah.
Yeah. But the story that they told in that 6-man tag at Backlash was incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we got out of that 6-man was actually closure, because you won't see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn go up against a bloodline anymore. That's done. It's over. So you need new villains, and Imperium fits that mold. And I would actually love it if you want to go this long term. You have Imperium take those tag titles off Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
I'd be cool with that.
Yep.
And I mean, we have to eventually build a Kevin and Sami for their split, right?
No, not at all. I mean, it's way too early for that. They just did this reunion. They can sit there, run it back, support each other. They can have a Dax and Cash moment and be drafted, or not drafted, but run into a tournament where they wind up as first round opponents, put on a classic match, and still shake hands and still be a team.
The thing is, right now, though, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn is just the guy that you can't help but just want to cheer for. He's just the most likable guy in the world right now.
Yeah.
So
especially when he stood up.
Yeah.
To the big dog.
Yes. And see, the fact is that he is no longer the underdog from the underground.
But KO is kind of like that. He's kind of like a modern day unmasked Sting in a way. He's like a vigilante in a way where he will do his own thing. While many people might say why, because he believes in why he's doing it.
Yep.
Right.
And absolutely. He doesn't care if he has to do it by himself or with an army. He cares more about the reason than the logic. And I think that's very heroic. So when you think about it, why even mess with this right now? Because they're the perfect combination.
I wouldn't say split right now, because right now what we have to do too is establish the SmackDown or the Raw and SmackDown tag team scenes as well. So you don't want to break up any teams right at this moment.
No, you don't.
Saying KO against Gunther would be a dream.
Yes,
it would.
And the WWE can make that dream a reality.
Yes.
I kind of want to see Damian Priest against Gunther at this point. And yes, I'll admit, I'm very high on Damian Priest right now because I very much think he is killing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking earlier today because, and this is where I'm not a huge fan of this new World Heavyweight title. I get the concept behind it, and I'm okay with it. But again, it's now going to, and I don't want to say undo, but it's going to, I think, take away from all the work you've done to establish the US and IC belts and get them back and feature them more prominently. But I would still, there were numerous names that I would love to see versus Gunther from Raw. And I can't even remember the names that I was thinking of earlier, but
I think anybody against Gunther at this point would do fantastic and help elevate that championship.
And see, that's what I think they're going to do with Drew McIntyre is give him Gunther.
No, I'm thinking that he's coming back and turning heel, and I'm actually going to say that I think he's coming back tonight. heel.
But who does he turn on? That's the question.
What's your main event?
Seth and Finn.
So he's turning on Seth.
But wouldn't that be kind of the same thing that we just got with Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Yep, but Drew's been away since Mania, so now it's the surprise return.
I get what you're saying. I don't know if it makes much sense to me, though.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if Drew McIntyre on the Raw after Night of Champions like attacks whoever the champion is. And I think that's Seth Rollins to start that. I think that would be something that makes sense. But I think right now, like Drew McIntyre, a lot of people are saying it's his contract that's an issue. He's hurt people. He's hurt.
Yeah, he's already come out and said his contract's fine.
Yeah, his contract is not even an issue till next year. The renegotiation thing is probably taken way out of context. And
Absolutely.
Really need to chill on that. But the thing is now with Drew, he needs to get him healthy. Yeah, the plan is probably to bring him heel. He's fizzed out as a babyface, especially with the Sheamus stuff. And you're not going forward with that. And maybe you do want him and Gunther at some point. I think we'd all love that one-on-one. But no, Drew was drafted to Raw. He's going to be on Monday Night Raw. Unless there's trades, he's going to be there.
But maybe this is a way to get him to that heel status.
Yeah.
Is that Drew comes back, makes a return on SmackDown to attack Sheamus and say, I'm done with you. I'm on Raw now. Goodbye.
But
and then
that would make him seem like a chicken shit, and then Sheamus would want to show up on Raw and beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and I don't want them to go to that, brand exchange where you can get somebody from SmackDown coming to Raw for 6 weeks while somebody from Raw goes to SmackDown for 6 weeks.
Leads in the world of professional wrestling, never say never.
Yeah, nobody's wrong. You just have a different opinion.
Exactly.
And it's great. That's what's great about wrestling, because when we say never, I'm never going to say your opinion's wrong. I'm never going to say my opinion's right, because you never say never. That's the best part about wrestling. Speculation is the best way to enjoy it.
And proof positive of the never say never is when Bruno Sammartino and Ultimate Warrior, two guys who swore off ever appearing on WWE TV, appear on WWE TV.
Right?
Never saying never is when I saw Eric Bischoff and Vince McMahon shake hands on Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
Too.
Never saying never is seeing Shane McMahon on Nitro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never saying never is watching Rey Mysterio live winning the World Heavyweight title as someone who's aspiring to be a pro wrestler who's under 6 feet. And you see that is capable.
Absolutely.
And never saying never is seeing Eddie Guerrero win the world title.
Yes.
And never say never
Pro
is Jeff
wrestling
Hardy
is
damn near
one of the
beating
most
the Undertaker.
inspirational things in the world.
And never say never is Jeff Hardy damn near beating the Undertaker in a fantastic ladder match. Not allowed in that.
If your missus ain't around, shh, and say whatever the fuck you want.
Mom's the word. Your secret's safe with us.
Notice how Parrish had to whisper that almost.
That's because my wife's upstairs.
I've been there twice and I found that combination. I turned it enough. I found that combination.
That's another one. As somebody that lives 3 hours away from Bret Hart hometown, and I grew up a Shawn Michaels guy. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yep. Okay, coming from bodyslam.net. The formerly known as Gunner turned into Jackson Riker is hanging up his boots this year.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a fan of the guy based on stuff he's been posting.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him since he got fired after posting his pro-Trump stuff. So,
Oh, he started posting Nazi stuff too.
oh,
Hello, Bob. Nice of you to join us. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? And how did you find our local
Bob.
establishment?
That was a
Flames.
fantastic ending, by the way.
We might not like each other, but thank you for joining. Do you see my McDavid jersey?
and I'm not sure if you
Let
saw
us
this
know more
one.
about you and how you found the channel. Very curious.
That's going to be our new thing now. Anytime we see a new name.
I think that should be, right?
Yep, I think so too.
It really should be.
I don't know.
Welcome them in and find out who they are and where they're from and how they came about for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry, Parrish. I don't know if you saw or heard about who won the NHL draft lottery before the game tonight.
I did, and I'm happy about that. I would have put money on Chicago winning that.
See, I had Columbus winning it.
There's something to me because I truly believe the NHL is rigged.
Right.
Like, it's more and more becoming a thing to me. Oh, shorts, nice. Credit to Bobby Munson and Asher
Right.
Bizarro who work on our shorts.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Raw is fire. But yeah, no, the simple fact that Petra Kane leaves, Jonathan Toews is done as a Blackhawk. Okay, you got to do something for an original six,
Yep.
right?
We're marking out here. We got the way together backstage right now.
Yeah.
The only thing missing
Okay.
is Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes. Actually, it was Gargano and Gunther was what I was thinking.
Gargano and Gunther would be a
Okay.
fantastic match too.
If they let Gargano be Johnny Wrestling. I was hoping that they wouldn't do this right off the bat tonight on Raw.
Okay, that camera shot of Nikki running down the ring was really cool.
It was fantastic.
Anything about Nikki Cross is really cool. I love Nikki Cross, and I think she's very undervalued
Yep.
from a fan standpoint.
Oh hell yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
going to stay away from that one because I really feel for you, OMD. I really do.
What's that?
Well, the last comment said Panthers in 4,
Right.
and I'm just like, I'm going to stay away because as much, and I'll be honest with this, I do not like the Leafs. I do not wish them anything. However,
Right.
I do sympathize with your obnoxious
Well-
fan base because you have endured a lot, and there is
Well,
a certain amount that I can be like, you know what? I can't sometimes. Although I do think it's hilarious, but at the same time, I do feel for you guys as fans because in a way, I've been there as well.
right. And I appreciate where you're coming from. And I'm looking at it this way is the Panthers are playing with house money because they're not supposed to be here, right? They were supposed to be crushed by the Bruins, and
Right.
so the fact that they've suffocated the Leafs. Now, I'm still going to say this. I still believe the Leafs win Game 4 on Wednesday night. I still believe the Leafs win Game 5 and go back and they will lose in 6 in Florida. But it'll give them that push, give them that nice long run into the playoffs. that will save everybody's jobs and yada yada yada.
See, I think this is the problem. I think the fact that it's I read a tweet and they're like, there's 40 million wasted because Matthews hasn't done much, Marner hasn't done much, Tavares. I really believe that the worst thing this team can do is lose in 4 and think we got to change everything, because the way I look at it, this year was better than last year, and you didn't do anything extreme last year. Yeah, you didn't. Maybe if you do get swept, you didn't win a game, but at the same time, you still won a series, and that was hurdle number 1.
Exactly.
You know why I think that? I look at my team.
Yep.
I look at the Oilers and what they're doing. They didn't do anything rash. They just had a GM that understood I got to keep certain guys around and I got to make improvements. And that's all you have to do is just make improvements.
And
maybe decisions and hard decisions have to be made. I get it. But you don't F with the core. You never do, because once you do, you're screwing everything up.
And I got to be honest, because I mean, going back, and I mean, and I'm going to say it, how many number 1 overall picks did Edmonton waste? Taylor Hall. Now, granted, he's never truly lived up to being a number 1 overall pick.
We wasted 1 because we should have traded the Yakupov one.
Yep.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a stud.
Yeah.
Taylor Hall was fine. We got Adam Larson for that trade, who was a freaking great defenseman. What ended up happening sucked, but that is unforeseeable.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Unforeseeable. We won with McDavid, clearly.
Yes.
Right.
It's hard not to. But other than that, like, we had the 4 first rounds, right? Hall, Nuge, Yak, and McDavid.
Yep.
I think only 1 and 75% chance on winning on number 1 picks. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, like, I know you guys picked Eberle up fairly high. I think he wound up being a bit of a
22nd overall.
Okay. Oh, so I thought he was a lot higher than that, but so okay, maybe you didn't.
What I hate is that we traded in the same draft with Eberle or McDavid. I know this because I took my engagement photos on this day. Thanks, wife. But we traded another first overall pick to the Rangers, or to the Islanders, and we could have had Matt Barzal and Connor McDavid in the same draft.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I have to change my pants already because of that.
So we're getting a replay here of what happened at Backlash in the 6-man matchup. Do you guys feel as though Solo is going to inevitably be on his own and out of the bloodline?
I think Solo should beat Roman Reigns for the title. I really do.
Okay, that's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it.
It's going to be a lot like, because they just mentioned him as well, Batista, when he beat Triple H.
True.
The one thing I don't like is how much of a tool Jimmy looks in this whole thing.
Yeah,
Jay looks like someone you could sympathize for, but he's almost like the guy that loves a girl, but is too chicken shit to say something.
Yep. So in other words, he's the OMD.
Nicely played.
And everyone here on Monday Night Raw is now going to get to witness, if they have not watched NXT, one Zoe Stark making her Raw
and that graphic
debut.
looks cool as fuck.
Right? Loved that.
Are they doing that all the time? Because I did not notice it.
Yeah, they've been doing that all night, man.
That is awesome.
And
Right?
for anyone who has not seen a Zoe Stark match, just be prepared to be entertained.
Yeah.
She is very good. She is a valid taste if you're a guy trying to watch it. I know, like, for a dude, like, you sometimes watch women's wrestling because you enjoy the wrestling. Sometimes it's the physical attraction of the individual that gets you there. And that's fine because
Zoe's
I
a very
know there's a lot of
attractive woman, I
females
find.
that like males. We know Mel, who's a very big fan of Finn Balor with trunks on.
Yep. Finn Balor shorts.
But at the same time, like, Zoe Stark is very polished.
Yes.
She's very underrated on the microphone. She's very confident in the ring. She's experienced in the ring.
See, I'm going to say this because, I mean, it's taken about, I mean, I've only really known about her for a little over a year on NXT, and because she's been injured so often, I think she could have used a little more time down in NXT. Maybe get her a run with the NXT women's title.
But a lot of us had said the same thing about Liv Morgan when she got called up, and now look at her.
Oh, I know. I agree. And
what I was hearing about Zoe Stark is she took that role of being one of the main girls to help teach everyone else, just like Bailey did.
Right.
And because of that, I think it's one of those things where she was almost in that shitty position that she wasn't the one to be champion, but she's your one if you need someone to have a good match. She's put in that position, right? Sami Zayn was put in that position a lot of times too.
Right.
Yep.
That kind of Jake the Snake kind of role, right? Like Jake didn't need a title at all, but
you're
Jake
consistent. And Carl, you know what I mean too when I say that. Like, it's a pretty crappy position to be in.
Yeah.
At times, but at the same time, it allows you to keep a job for a while.
But a guy like Jake the Snake, again, who didn't need a championship, but he prepared guys for the main event by taking the jobs. It made us care for him even more so, and he put on some fairly decent matches.
Yeah.
Bite your tongue. Fairly decent?
Well, I mean, there were guys he couldn't pull good matches out of that he wrestled.
Well, I mean, essentially, Jake carried Taker for that rivalry when that started.
And he carried Andre for that rivalry, too.
Right?
Oh. What a dominant victory by Zoe Stark.
It was a little too quick for me, unfortunately. I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit more action in this matchup instead of just a domination. But I understand we need to show that dominant side of Zoe Stark if we're gonna, help propel her to the top status.
Sometimes there's more, Carl.
Now I'm gonna throw this out there because I hate to say it, but I mean, can we get a Job Squad shirt for Nikki and Dana? And
yeah. I really wonder if the reason why Nikki is on this streak is because we are going to see a return of sanity.
I hope so.
That would be fantastic, but I don't know. Maybe this could be a way to bring Schism up and give Nikki that family, because you can keep Ava Raine down in NXT.
Well, if you're going to bring Schism up, you would have drafted them, for one.
Yeah.
Two, it looks like the team of Jagger Reed. Or sorry, I'm not. Fuck that. The Grizzled Young Vets. Because that's how I want to remember them as. It looks like they're on borrowed time with WWE now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see. Why is Xavier Woods looking weird?
I was wondering why he's hanging out with Akira Tozawa.
Because Kofi's injured.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. If you
Uh-huh.
turn Natty heel, I would love to see Natty and Trish as a tag team.
Yes.
Please, guarantee you, this is a good idea. Give Trish the ability to start a group. Come on.
She had one. It was called TNA.
True.
I'm not touching that.
I'm liking this Trish though.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a far better heel run than the one she had in 2004.
Right, which was very unforgettable, to be honest. I mean, I always remember Trish as being the happy go lucky, the whole point and everything, like the bubbly Trish Stratus.
Which
Now
she
to see
was
this
still doing
Trish,
during that time.
yeah, she was. No, I totally get that. But I always saw Trish as like the face, right? But now to see her in like more in a heel role than I think she was able to portray back then.
It's kind of like a grizzled veteran for women role, which is
Right.
not a bad thing at all.
No, not at all. I love it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we know that when she turned on Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 20 and joined with Christian, she had a great run as a heel there.
Yes.
So she showed signs of being comfortable in that position. I also think it's just one of those things when you get comfortable in your years as a human being and you become older and become confident of who you are, it's a lot easier to portray that heel.
True.
And you could tone down, simple things in your life of, this is what maybe I wish I had in my career. And be like, you know what? If I became so insanely just divulged into that, that could make a good heel. That could give me a good direction on how to become a good bad guy in professional wrestling.
True.
And then if I evolve that into some, that's where you can do it. And I think Trish is very comfortable in who she is. I think she's the last person who cares about the ego aspect of professional wrestling. But she knows how to make that work.
Right.
And that's what makes her the Hall of Famer that she is.
Yes.
Here's the other thing, too, about her heel run in 2004. There was a lot of Canadian dates that came after WrestleMania 20. And I seem to remember we, as Canadians, don't really want to boo our heel wrestlers.
Canadians,
true.
no.
BRB AFK.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time Trish got booed that whole time was SummerSlam with that beach volleyball thing. But we booed the fact that the beach volleyball thing wasn't even happening in the arena.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny that even back in those days, we see we don't know what we want to do with a collection of male talent. We'll put them in a battle royal or we'll do a multi-man match.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you had that same mindset for the women, you put them in like a lingerie pillow fight or you did something different from professional wrestling.
Sorry, I said volleyball. I meant dodgeball.
It's just very weird that that was the mentality then. And you couldn't just say, hey, look, we got 7 professional women or professional wrestlers that are women.
Yeah.
How do we get them on a show?
Let's have them play dodgeball.
And to me, that's why I love the scramble match. Because 1, it was different. 2, it allowed multiple people to be involved. It wasn't necessarily the battle royal that gets overdone in professional wrestling. But at the same time, you allow them to be involved. You get them to actually wrestle and perform. But then if there's something on the line, it makes what they're doing important. So it gives you that perception of what you're watching, that if this person wins, they're now catapulted into something that I need to care about.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about the scramble matches too, is the emphasis on the championships that were on the line in those matches. And I want to see Hunter bring those matches back. I don't know how he would do it, but I want to see him. I want to see them come back.
Yeah.
Because those scramble matches, they were very entertaining, in my opinion. The way Becky sold that chick kick, man.
Yeah.
I really wish they just did the chick kick and not that elbow from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she did just the chick kick, it probably would have been just like when Michaels super kicked Hogan, because that just came from out of nowhere too.
Yep. And that was the most beautiful super kick I've ever seen.
I now want to go on Corey Graves' Twitter to see if he's tweeting that.
That missing shirt is absolutely fantastic that Trish has on right now.
Yeah.
I still can't help but. So I'll say this. As a young child, I had a huge crush on Shania Twain. And I thought, oh my God, the older she got, she still is amazingly attractive. Trish Stratus is that same way. And what's even better is how amazing she is at professional wrestling.
Oh, yes.
And it's just a home run. Like, it's a thing, I think, for the dudes to say, like, okay, like, yeah, we want to see the women in the role of professional wrestling, but it's still hard for us not to look at them as, you know, people. And if you're like you like that. And in wrestling, it's unfortunate, but it's a thing. The way you look can alter how you're used. Both, but I don't know.
That was a troll move by Trish.
Trish Stratus, in her time when WWE and Playboy had a thing going on,
Yeah.
was the only one that said no.
Yes.
Right. And I think that actually was a decision that made her more popular, because she really set the bar on women in wrestling for putting their foot down and saying, this is who I am. You're gonna fucking like it.
It's Trish's work ethic that I love about her.
She demands respect. She really does.
And I'll never forget the night she had her retirement match against Lita. I was there live. What an emotional moment that was.
Yeah.
I mean, like, tears flowing everywhere in the crowd, almost like when Macho Man reunited with Miss Elizabeth.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
with a new shirt and a new slogan.
I kind of like it.
We have got Becky Lynch, the man of the masses.
This match is going to be really good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I'm invested in this.
Yes.
And I like that they're not doing it every week. Like they're not shoving this feud down our throat. They're still, I think they're still trying to build towards SummerSlam by doing this every couple of weeks. Trish comes out or whatever, you know.
Right. It's still it's keeping it relevant,
And reminding us that it's still there.
right? And just giving us that little bit of a taste to keep us involved in this feud and keeping it close to us and making us go, holy shit, I want more.
I kind of liken it back to the way WWE used to book pay-per-views back in the 80s and 90s when there was only the 4 shows. We saw maybe Hogan and Savage every couple weeks promoting their main event. And on the off week, we saw maybe like one of those Sean Mooney special event promos from one of them.
Right. I miss Sean Mooney.
Fantastic.
I miss Todd Pettengill.
Todd was good too.
Both of them were fucking great. Not gonna lie, when they brought back the In Your House concept for NXT and they brought Todd Pettengill to do it, I marked out hard.
Right.
I still think they should have brought back the kid that won the house. That would have been like just nostalgic cool.
You see, I completely forgot about that.
I laughed that he sold the house right away because they just moved.
Right?
Because him and his family, the story goes like they lived in like New York or something like that. He won the house in Florida, but by the time they announced the winner, him and his family had already moved to Las Vegas.
See, that's not a bad thing because he now would own 2 houses that don't have state tax. That would have been very smart.
True. So they keep trying to push the New Day, but it just feels like the New Day is old news now.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree.
They're the old news day.
Yeah. Kind of like the Sioux Star.
But here's the thing though, when Big E returns, that's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
True, as long as all 3 of them are there. I don't want it just to be 2 of them.
That this group can be relevant. But what I wish that if a guy like Xavier Woods had the opportunity to be his own man, do that and allow the New Day to be a thing when they're all together.
Right.
But when it's Xavier Woods, let Xavier Woods be Xavier Woods.
Yes. No, I get what you're saying because I know they've sort of tried that to give all 3 of them their pushes, right? Both Big E and Kofi got the WWE title. Woods got King of the Ring. But they've never allowed them to really go and do their own thing because then Kofi was with Woods as the right hand and you had Kofi Mania. And they tried when they split up Big E and the other 2 and Kofi and Xavier and put Big E on SmackDown.
Right.
But
that's just it. When Big E separated himself from New Day, he got the world title. He did that. Yeah, I can understand like, oh, well, Kofi was champion when he was in New Day. Sure, but in comparison, Kofi might have had the bigger moment, but I think Big E had a bigger impact.
Yeah.
and is more believable as a world champion. I think, in a way, Jesus Christ, is my Oilers getting shit kicked right now? And I have not really been watching the game. I've been watching.
Last I saw when I just checked, it was 2-1, and now it's damn.
Yeah, they're getting pumped. But I've had the theory that the Edmonton Oilers are the worst babyface in NHL because they don't understand how to keep or turn the crowd into a factor. But yeah, no, my point is, though, with the Shield, though, when it was together, it was such a dominant thing. But when they broke out, they all found individual success without having to.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I feel that's what is almost restricting the individuals of the New Day, because, like we saw an example, Big E had something right there. Kofi did, but I think it was restricted because of his attachment still to the New Day and his title reign. It was weird to me because in a lot of matches, they did the 3-on-1 or 3-on-2. And because it was the good guy, you cheered, but really it wasn't a good
guy. It was a heel move, but it was the New Day and it was Kofi Kingston, and yeah.
And you're not really giving the individual acts a proper way of being themselves if you're always attaching something bigger over them.
Yeah.
Right.
So Corey Graves did tweet the picture of Trish that he took.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would show it on screen, but copyright reasons.
So that just means that all of you need to grab your own personal devices, open up the Twitter box, and search for Corey Graves.
Well, the OMD does not have the Twitter box. But I am going to make another vacation to the urination station.
Okay, bye.
Big gulp tape. All right, see you later.
Okay, bye.
Oh, jeez.
Now we get to see Condom come out.
Second time tonight.
Or Dum Dum.
Does anybody notice a difference in the color of their 3D entrance? It used to be purple. Now it's kind of a light blue.
Yeah, very slightly.
It's like
my screen still kind of shows purple hues.
Yeah.
But it is more blue than purple.
I wonder if that has anything to, because Rhea is the SmackDown Women's Champion. I wonder if the blue is anything to do from that. We all know that Rhea is one of the biggest entities of the Judgment Day, so I wonder if the blue light is to represent how much Rhea is the lightning of the Judgment Day.
Very philosophical of you. Deep thinking.
I don't know, but I keep thinking now because my brain is still set on the Zoe Stark match that just happened. I can't wait to see Zoe Stark and Rhea Ripley go at it.
Right.
I don't want to see it at SummerSlam or something like that. Maybe like a year down the road, I'd like to see it.
I love that in the post Judgment Day LWO, we're still seeing Dom and Rhea together.
Right.
Also, Buddy Matthews, formerly Buddy Murphy, might have had one of the best responses ever
Yes, he did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And boy, do I miss him being on WWE TV. But I'm glad that he's having success as a current AEW Trios champion in the House of Black. But
Me too.
yeah, if you're curious on what that response is, go on Twitter and find out, because I'm not going to share it on stream.
No.
Yes.
That's another Twitter box visit.
Yeah. So has Dom always had tassels on his tights, or is this something new?
He's always had. It's just because they match the same color, the primary color of his gear. You probably don't notice that much.
Right.
To me, I notice the boots a lot more than I notice the tights.
Yeah, me too.
Well, at least he's starting to change up his look and distancing himself from Ray right now.
Despite having the same horns on his gear that Ray does on his mask.
That's the next thing he needs to change.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say it because it's bugging me.
Okay.
I think a L'Oreal wipe would be good for this referee night right now. There's way too much makeup on his face.
He is very.
That's
shiny.
all I'm seeing. He's like very shiny.
Yep.
I'm trying to watch this matchup, and there's this glow emanating from the corner where the referee is.
Off his forehead, right?
Yeah.
His positioning is also terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. Is this a new ref? I don't think I've seen this guy before.
I think he took lessons from Remsburg.
Oh, fuck the Remsburg. Ooh, I said that out loud.
I was going to say, I think he took lessons from a certain Ricky Ray. I'm sorry, but there's been times where I've had to talk to him about his officiating.
Who?
Ricky Ray.
Ah, yes. Ricky Ray Ross.
Ricky Ray, also a very good old school Edmonton quarterback.
Ah.
Yes, he is.
I remember one show where we were using confetti to as like, I guess, our pyro for the wrestlers to come out, and it was getting all over the ring, and if it gets in the ring, it gets really slippery.
Oh yeah.
I've had to tell him like 6-7 times, hey, you gotta get a broom, or you gotta use your feet to kick that stuff out of there, because I saw Jimmy slipping on it, I saw Vinny slipping on it, I saw Matt Power slipping on it, I saw Hexam slipping on it.
Oof. Yeah, confetti inside of a wrestling ring is not fun to work with.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're in the commercial, I'm going to go check on my laundry.
Check on your laundry. Okay, enjoy.
You do that.
Nutrilon really is looking for business right now. I keep seeing commercials for Nutrilon, not only here on Sportsnet 360, but on other channels as well that are not sports related. It's interesting. And thank you to everybody who has joined us, whether it is live or watching after the fact. Down below in the ticker, you're going to see all the areas where you can find our local establishment, whether that is on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even on the TikTok. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can direct those to our email address as seen down in the ticker below as well. The email address is olepodcasts@gmail.com. Once again, any comments, questions, or concerns can be directed to olepodcasts@gmail.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you know what really helps us out? Clicking that like button. Giving us a big ol' thumbs up helps us be pushed out to more people. And if you subscribe to the network over on YouTube, ring that bell and be notified when new episodes drop of all the different programming that is available at our local establishment.
You know what else helps us out too? It's not the thing I did earlier, going to rogueenergy.com and using the 10% discount OLE pods for any one of your purchases that you want to make on that website.
And you know what really helps? Because this is what we care the most.
Clean underwear.
You're wearing underwear? No, it's getting active in the chats and adding to the show, because without the people, you guys don't realize how much you actually are additions to these shows, and it also allows us to not only get to know you, get to know why you came here, when you came here, and like that's one of the best parts is just getting to know our audience and connecting, because getting to not only connect and support people, we wouldn't even be here. It wouldn't be a thing. That is the OLE way. So, yeah.
Because our relationship isn't just hosts and viewers, it's a family.
Exactly.
And we offer thanks to those that were with us, from the beginning. Our good friends like Mike the Ref, who has, still even showcases us on some of his socials that he has out there. When we go live, his audience gets a notification about it. To even our new people like Tom Colahue and like Joshua as well with HCW Sports. Great, fantastic people that we've been able to connect with. And just build friendships with, because I mean that's what we do.
Let's not forget one of the new members of the Straight Shoot podcast, and Heel Kevin, who rated us with a rate of, I think it was 16 people for the paper reviews.
20.
That was just
20.
Yeah, it was.
Like right when we started, like that. We cannot even begin to say like just how amazing that man is, and how amazing it is to get to know him, and how much support he has for us. So,
Bobby Winston's reaction to that raid, though, was priceless.
Oh yeah. Because I also had my screen in like full screen, so I really was not paying attention to anything, because we're like, okay, we have this guy in set of this person's set to do this. You're just going to be able to talk, and do your thing, and not worry about responsibilities. And I'm like, yes. But
so you just took a step back and allowed Bobby Button Pusher Munson to take control.
He wanted it, and I was like, okay. But at the same time, like when you get those opportunities, you're gonna have fun with them, and that's
of course.
I think what the beauty of what we do is. I mean, we're all versatile. We all can do just about anything that we have to. But when you get to just be simple and enjoy the simplicity of what you're doing, so it's a nice feeling.
This is actually a pretty good match between these two.
I'm
Yeah, it's
surprised
been
with how
great
much
so
time
far.
they had.
It has. And I know there were a lot of people, and I know some people personally who take a dump on Dom, and I don't know why.
Nice.
Wow.
They have
Dom
called
didn't have a cheap victory. He had a smart victory.
they've called Dom talentless and didn't get any seasoning, any proper training. Well, when you train under your dad and Jay Lethal, you don't need to really go to NXT.
True.
No,
A
you
roll
really
up
don't,
there, grabbing the tights, holding on, getting that victory. Another big win for Dum Dum Condom.
And I was one of those ones that said Dom needs to go to NXT for some seasoning, but he's actually getting his seasoning on the main roster at the same time.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. And I love Dom. I got tired of the Condom character, but they've sort of steered away from that now, and it's no longer the whole when I was in prison thing.
And as we're seeing the main event being needs to be next. But one of the things about Rey Mysterio's new deal was a condition that he gets to work with Dom, and Dom does not go to NXT. That was reported by Tom Kawazu.
Okay.
And it is a thing. And one of the best things about that is what Dominic Mysterio lacked was experience, but what he did have was understanding the business because he grew up in it.
Right.
A lot of people can say that they are thinking about things a different level, and that's what you've known for the entire time of your lifetime. But Dom has quickly developed and evolved and adjusted very well for someone who's less than 6 years in the business.
Absolutely.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not only putting in the work, but he's very much taking the influence and the advice of everyone he's worked with behind the stage. And because of that, like, he's also the son of not just a Hall of Famer, but the greatest luchador of all time.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Who also is probably one of the most respected men in the business.
Yep.
So when you think about that, like, you're going to be credited with a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
And Dominic Mysterio, instead of being that
snot-nosed, entitled, generational punk.
Nepotism baby, as they're called.
Just that entitled piece of, cow dung, we'll say.
Yeah.
That's a phrase that needs to be brought back. But he took it as something that he knew that could propel him moving forward. I think that's one of the best things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely it is, right? And I don't think that it was a bad thing for Dominic to be brought.
And by placing him in Judgment Day with guys like Damian Priest and Finn Balor, who have been around the world, who have gained their seasoning prior to coming to WWE.
Yep.
It's just giving them more people to learn from, and great freaking performers.
Yeah.
Finn Balor, former leader of the Bullet Club.
I mean, I said when he joined Judgment Day that he needs to sit down and pick the brain of Damian Priest and Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Damian Priest, for those of you that don't know, formerly known as Punishment Martinez, you can just use your Googles and look up Punishment Martinez and see the accomplishments that guy has had. Wikipedia has it too, if you even just, Google Damian Priest, but it's all there.
Go on YouTube and search up Punishment Martinez. I'm sure there's about 20 or 30 matches you can find of his on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to do something that I've never done before.
Oh,
I'm not
live
just-
on stream?
No, it's going to be after because for everyone who knows, I know goggles. Or duck. Yeah. That's fantastic. Thank you, Joshua. Which, by the way, since Joshua's in the chat, make sure you're checking out A Moment with Joshua Joseph, as I just did an interview with him on Saturday. It came up on Spotify. Had a lot of fun. Can't wait to do it again. That guy is absolutely phenomenal. Also, an Indiana boy, or I'm pretty sure of, if I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. But at the same time, like, just a great human being, a great person who, again, I exemplifies the whole. We met because he came on a watch along. I said
Yeah.
something, resonated with him, and then we kept in contact, and that happened. Like there's so much can happen if you just come in a chat.
Yeah.
You don't understand how much that can come in.
And I'm going to be connecting up with Josh as well. And I have a very long work week coming up starting Wednesday. I'm going to be doing 8-day shifts in a row, 12-hour day shifts in a row. But we will definitely be getting together and producing something after that as well with myself and Joseph.
I'm kind of really jacked about this week's A&E's Most Wanted Treasures. They are looking for Macho Man's crown from when he was the Macho King.
Right?
I have that in my figure set somewhere. I literally have the Macho crown. Yeah.
So what are you going to do that you've never done before?
Oh, so I'm skipping McDonald's and they have a thing of 40 nuggets, so I'm going to go crazy.
40.
So like I've done 20. That's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna go.
Good
40.
God. Yeah, we will definitely make it happen. Definitely we will.
I have an idea, Josh. How about you have me, Karl, and Bobby, K. Fableman.
Oh.
And we really rock the house.
Oh.
But instead of it just doing an audio podcast, why don't we up it? Why don't we do a visual podcast?
I think we could work with him and make that happen. Definitely.
Yeah.
Mukbang with Parrish and McNugs.
I gotta have fries because nothing is better than the fries there. And I'm also gonna say, have you ever had a Coke that tastes better than McDonald's Coke?
You know what? I am not a Coca-Cola fan at all, but I will say that a McDonald's Coca-Cola is the best tasting Coca-Cola from the fountain machine.
And you want to know why? I actually have an answer to this.
Because their machines are dirty?
No, It's because of how much invested in the stake of Coke and McDonald's are. McDonald's actually gets priority on the shipment of Coke more than anybody else in the world. And that is one of the top reasons to why Coke tastes better at McDonald's than anywhere else.
There's a McDonald's documentary out there that mentions that.
Yeah. Which also, by the way, if you have a chance to go see The Founder, great movie.
I don't care about any movies right now. Liv Morgan's on my screen.
Well, we also had Shinsuke Nakamura just prior to that challenge Miz to a match next week, 1-on-1.
And it's going to be awesome.
His English
Yes,
is a lot better, by the way.
Yeah, slowly.
It's only taken 5 years.
I'm going to dispute that. His English was great for a Japanese guy. The problem is this need for guys to always speak English from the North American crowd, the American crowd, and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at somebody like Asuka who gets over not saying much in English. It
Right.
has nothing to do with it. Allow this person or talent to be themselves. And when you do that, they will get over, just like Shinsuke did. It's why he became the first Japanese-born male to win the Royal Rumble match.
Right.
That's still one of my most favorite Rumble matches too.
In fact, we saw 2 Japanese-born people in one night win the Royal Rumble.
Yes, we did.
Crazy, but amazing. And thank God they did. They weren't successful at WrestleMania, and both reasons were terrible. But we saw a great moment with Shinsuke with AJ, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
But Asuka should have beat Charlotte.
I agree. And now we're standing by with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
But also,
I'm just
You
getting
should
there
be
now.
throwing
They're
that
just
back, but he's not.
Hey, that's a pretty cool shirt Cody's wearing there.
it's
Oh,
a
wait.
hoodie. It's a hoodie, actually.
Yes. Oh, wait. Oh, Parrish is wearing the exact same thing in t-shirt form.
One of the best impulse buys I ever had at the Rumble. It was that or like a very old school Shawn Michaels shirt that the only reason why I didn't get that is they didn't have anything close to my size.
Oh.
America
I still
likes
have
big
my
things, and everything is bigger in Texas. It really is.
I still have my Cody shirt from his time in AEW, and I love that shirt, that American Nightmare Cody shirt from AEW. I still wear it, like I love it. Josh is saying I'm gonna so marry Asuka now. I only have to get her to agree, and then his wife on board as well, and then he's all set.
Have you guys watched any of Asuka's YouTube videos? They're actually pretty entertaining.
I have not.
Look up Kana Chan TV. I think that's what she calls it.
Okay.
They're very entertaining.
See, I love what they're doing with Cody Rhodes right now. Like, just absolutely love it. He had this amazing story with Seth Rollins that just went. He, had that injury. It only made you love the guy even more. Only for him to overcome odds, win the Royal Rumble, go on to WrestleMania, and just have that real emotional defeat. Only to now have this fight with one of the most fierce men to ever step in the ring, Brock Lesnar, and he's not scared. He's excited, like he's willing. He's just like he loves it, but at the same time, it's a great sidetrack to have. So when he does get that championship, he deserved it. And it's amazing. I love the little details and the patience with his story.
Right.
It's just as Hunter said, let the story play out.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. Like when you read a book, you might love a chapter, but it's usually never the last one.
That's right.
There's always another one that follows. And because of that, you gotta always trust it. I look at a show like Sons of Anarchy as a great show that used an idea that they had, and like the direction they had was very, very obvious from the get-go. But there was so much. And just when you thought you knew where you were going, something else happened that took you off path, only for the chase to come back. And the best part about it is that it was 100% obvious and 100% there that you knew the chase always brings the most interest. It was always the most followed. It was always the most intriguing. But at the end of the day, whether or not you got there or not, that didn't matter. It was the emotional investment you had throughout the way
Right.
that made everything memorable.
Right.
And that's why I love what they're doing with Cody Rhodes. It reminds me so much of that.
Yeah.
It's just like playing a video game with a very, very deep story, right? You become so invested in that character that you want to see that character get to the end. And it's not just necessarily about beating that final boss, but it's that whole adventure to getting to that final boss.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just it. Like, in a world where everything can go wrong, in a world where all these little hiccups can happen, with all these extra variables, whether it's anxiety, depression, death, anything like that, when it's told in the best form, hope
Yeah.
and faith are so powerful
Mhm.
and so iconic to a story.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's amazing when
That's why the Last of Us, to me, both of them, Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2, are perfect examples of emotional what's that word I'm looking for? Investment.
yeah.
Because at the end, when spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played Last of Us 1, but at the end of that one, you have no choice but to save Ellie, because your character Joel just has such a deep love and a deep passion for her, and you feel that passion and emotion that Joel feels as you're gunning everyone down in the hospital.
Well, and what's funny is Stone Cold was your ultimate pawn in that story because it wasn't Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was like that. He was that company kiss ass,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Where Stone Cold was a guy that, you know, said the things that needed to be said that even the higher ups weren't like, oh my God, like you shouldn't say this. But it was needed to say to help expand everything. Stone Cold really was that ultimate company guy who was willing to go that extra mile. Yeah, you might believe the alliance stuff, but at the end of the day, he was the ultimate pawn. And that is why he was one of the few guys that Vince kept. Yes, he was the champion, but think why he never lost that championship. Why? Because as ironic as it was, that was the one time Vince, from a character standpoint and from a real life standpoint, never wanted him to lose it. Beautiful storytelling.
Yeah. All right.
just-
So
For example of beautiful storytelling too, let's go back to 1988. Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man. That whole year-long build was phenomenal.
And I can tell you from a 2-year-old, it was awesome.
I was 5 at that time.
Yeah, I would have been 6.
yeah.
But I remember like everything about that feud, like even as kids in the playground, like who's gonna win, Hogan or Macho Man? You know,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
that
It was
divide in the
huge.
bands was
Yeah.
palpable.
Who here was on what side? That I think is a curiosity question.
I was one of the few that was on both. I didn't care. I wanted to see them fight. I had both figures.
As a kid, I grew up watching Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling at 3 years old, so I was pro Hogan.
I was pro Hogan too then.
Yeah, I was more Hogan too, but I still I was a fan of the both of them. I actually used to do storylines between Hogan and Savage, where Savage would kidnap Miss Elizabeth and Hogan had to save her.
Yeah.
There was something about Hulk Hogan that even back when he was doing, even in his prime in that character, I just thought was too much. And I'm just like, this is so over the top to me.
Right.
To the point that I just don't believe it. I kind of wish there's somebody, and I know Macho did to a T with the Elizabeth stuff, but I wish more good guys would just call him out. And I really wish we would have saw that good guy versus good guy, but with somebody calling him out on it and really tease that maybe Hulk Hogan really isn't a good guy.
Right.
Well, Macho did call it out in that one promo where he's like, "Oh, you were hot dogging, grandstanding me," and you know what I mean? Taking the spotlight away from Savage in that one promo.
But he made himself look like the bad guy doing it. I really wish somebody would do it in the way of it was if Ricky Steamboat did it, that would have been impactful.
Yeah.
It really
would.
Well, to be fair, I think people would have cheered Steamboat over Hogan anyways.
Yeah, but that would have been the beauty of it. They're questioning Hogan at that point. And if you had that power there, one, how much is that going to help Steamboat? But two, how's that going to help Hogan? That's insane.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, and I'm going to be there when I'm going to admit, because and you guys all know, I've been there when the crowd literally did the double turn at WrestleMania X8 between Hogan and The Rock, and I admittedly went pro Hogan that night, even though Hogan was coming out as the heel and the NWO leader.
Yeah, but I think in your case, OMD, that was more of a nostalgia factor.
Oh, it was, no question.
Because at that point, it had been 9 years since we had seen Hogan wrestle in a WWE ring.
Yeah.
Oof.
How ironic was that move we just saw?
I missed it.
Finn Balor.
Oh, you mean this one?
Powerbombing Seth Rollins to the outside barrier.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
The same move where we all know that is where Finn Balor got hurt in that Universal title match.
Yep.
I love it.
Right?
Yep.
And I love it even more now that Finn Balor is flipped and he's the bad guy and Seth Rollins is now the guy. It is fantastic.
Okay, and I'm going to say this one now is, as much as I love Edge, I really hope he doesn't win the match on SmackDown and go to the finals, because we don't need to see Edge versus Finn again for a title.
Here's something that I actually am curious to see, because I would love to see this. What if LA Knight restricts Edge from winning and we actually see LA Knight versus Edge?
That would be fantastic.
Yep.
Sign me up.
I
Give
know
me
we all
ringside
want LA Knight in a title thing, but if he's in something with Edge, I think that's just as good as a title right now.
Absolutely.
I'd so be down for that, and I'm going to agree that that's going to happen with what Parrish said, because you've been on point with the predictions lately. So
that's just a hope. That's not a prediction.
But could we see? I mean, because then in the second match on SmackDown, you're getting, what is it, Lashley, Theory, and Sheamus.
I really hope Theory finds a way to sneak that one out. What they're doing with him and doing that, yeah, I think it's fantastic. And
Absolutely. Now, so I'm going to take Theory and Styles. Now,
yeah,
could we see AJ Styles versus Finn Balor at Night of Champions?
That would be a fantastic match.
what happens if we saw Seth Rollins and AJ Styles again?
Again, another fantastic match.
Because I truly do think Seth Rollins is winning this title. Like I would bet a lot of other people's money that he's going to win this title.
I caught that.
I love the whole lot of other people's money.
I know you didn't, but yeah, like I think the perfect, like to me, I think one of the issues I'm going to go with this turn, like even though I like the idea, I would love the triple threats as like a quarterfinal kind of a deal, but I would have loved the semifinals of being like, okay, maybe we saw Finn Balor versus a winner from SmackDown, and then we saw the other SmackDown triple threat go up against Seth Rollins, and those winners face each other, and we saw something more.
Here's what I'm going to say is I would rather have seen this be a 16-person tournament. Now, you could have done it with 8 members of Raw, 8 members of SmackDown, and done a couple of matches this week, a couple of matches next week, and still gotten to Night of Champions. Even if you ran the semifinals and the finals at Night of Champions.
Yeah.
As opposed to, we're going to see 4 triple threats.
So I did not see this, Josh. He says, did you see the women's Olympic freestyle wrestler get signed to the WWE? She was the girl who dropped the American flag and talked about how much she loves this place. Brock as a woman and mic skills. I have not. If you have a link to it, shoot it over to me. I'd love to see it.
I know who he's talking about. I can't remember her name right offhand.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I saw and heard about this the other day as well.
Oh, what a beautiful sequence by Seth and Finn right there with the frog splash.
Gorgeous.
But one thing I think we gotta understand, like the person who won that Olympia, as much as you like that mic or that interview or whatever she had afterwards, that is not even going to be close to the performer she'll be in WWE.
Right.
That was a moment and a real moment, just like when Kurt Angle won the Olympic gold medal. It was a real moment.
Right.
You understood that the first time you saw Kurt Angle live on screen, it was 100% different than that moment. Just like when you saw Brock Lesnar for the first time in WWE or WWF back then, it was different from when he won the National Division I State Championship.
Yes, absolutely.
There is so much, like, and that's just the thing. Like, we're not going to see that. Whether or not we see the confidence on the mic skills, that remains to be seen.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that was pure and organic. And when you're in the WWE, there's going to be a lot of other emotions that are involved. Because, again, she's being herself. In WWE, she might be being something else.
Exactly.
And there it is for everyone in the chats.
Finn's bleeding from the mouth there.
That's probably because they're really landing shots.
Yes.
They're not each other pretty damn good in this match.
I think as much as it's easy to say people are landing shots, it's also very important. I think there's a lot of guys that are just like, you know what? I don't really care about protecting myself here. I'll take the shot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a performance choice whether or not
Yeah.
take the shot or not. Sometimes it's accidental.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's on intent.
Yeah, like my ear injury. That was Purely accidental.
Yeah, like the guy, like the short little 5 foot nothing who tried to suplex me would drop me on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Karl, you were there for that show.
Mm-hmm. I had
Or
a guy
like-
miss with a kendo stick and clip me in the ear.
Or how about two idiots who grab the wrong guy and choke slam one on top of the other?
Yeah. I love that. Both of them down on the mat, just looking at each other, going, "Yep,
Smiling.
yep, got
Yeah, let's
more.
do
Let's
it."
go." Wow.
It's like that Undertaker Brock Lesnar when they were both laughing at each other after just
Right?
beating the piss out of
Yeah.
one another.
So Josh is saying Parrish totally gets you, but this new style of how they are taking talent to mold their way, huge. Oh. Ooh.
You'll notice that even with Finn bleeding in the mouth, the ref does not have the gloves on yet.
Nope.
No, so there's a thing that was actually posted out that there is going to be more allowance on blood on television.
Yes, especially in the third hour.
However, there is definitely a thing where pictures with people bleeding might be prohibited
yes.
because
Yes.
I don't know why yet that's a thing, but I'm curious to find out.
Well, it's
because
only on their own socials, though. If the WWE decides to put it onto WWE socials, then of course it's allowed, but it's on their own personal socials.
You know, that's a slippery slope with how many people have access to social media. It's going to happen. And I really don't think it's going to be a deal. Now, Finn Balor just put his hands on the referee, and I think that needs to be.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit savage here right now.
I don't like the fact that nothing happened there.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
And that's just it. Josh says the rest didn't put any gloves on that match. But also, can you see Brock Lesnar giving a shit about blood? Can you really see that? Because I don't.
No. Seth, what?
Hey, don't spoil it if this is...
No, you'll see what I'm whiting about in a second there.
Okay.
Is something up with Seth's arm that I missed?
Could be.
Because he's like...
Now, to be on the safe side, it is his left arm. So let's not think too much into it. The left side, now it might be real, but it also very well could be a work because, as we all know...
You sell the left side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, before you think whether it's real or not, the fact that he's selling it and making it look real and have us believing this, credit to him and his selling.
Oh, yeah.
He went to the Brad Hexam School of Selling Injuries.
Right? Hexam's great. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I also love that Seth Rollins is now using the stomp from a face first thing instead of just a back of the head type thing.
Right.
And there you
All
have
right.
it.
What?
Wow.
Okay, OMD's caught up, so now we can talk.
Wow.
I think that if Seth does end up winning the title, Finn is going to be the first to challenge for it because this match just totally solidified Finn as the number 2 guy on the main roster.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Josh is saying, wait. All these injuries aren't real? What's next? Kane and Undertaker aren't brothers? Sure. Okay.
Oh, wait. He said Lane and Undertaker aren't brothers. Lane and Undertaker are brothers. But yeah, as you correct yourself, Kane and Undertaker are storyline brothers, not real life brothers. But Lane and Undertaker, that's a different story.
Right. And as World Chase Tag US Championship 1 comes on, I'm turning it off.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
All in all, that was a very entertaining show.
It was.
Ed, you got some splaining to do. You tell
from a
me
guy
why.
from Boston who tries to be Irish, like from a community that tries to be Irish, they seem to really hate the real Irish. Because he's been on this train that Finn is like not there. And I said, put some respect on Finn. He's going to be one of the players there. As we just saw, he was.
Right? I mean, if it can't be, you know, the best of the best, the god of gods in professional wrestling, Switchblade Jay White, being in this area, then I would have to say Finn Balor is the close second.
Yeah.
There's one thing I really enjoyed about that match, and we didn't need it, but I'm so glad that the rest of the Judgment Day did not show up to help Finn in any way.
Well, they also didn't help Damian Priest, and it was only done.
Ed, you're fired.
He might be just sexually attracted to him. It's a different thing. But also, to go back on your Judgment Day point, they didn't get involved in the Damian Priest triple threat. There's only Dom and Rhea in the Rhea match, and same thing with the Dom and Rhea.
Yeah,
right? Like they didn't really get involved in the matches either. So
separated all night. I'm kind of happy about that.
It's also nice to kind of just have that, but at the same time, support's there, but involvement doesn't always need to happen. So I don't know. I mean, 3 wins for Judgment Day tonight. 2 losses, but 3 wins. So they had a pretty good night.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they were still asserted as the dominant faction, and they still took their losses. So it's no real hurt on them.
But I mean, it's clear to say that they are the dominant faction of Monday Night Raw right now. Makes me believe if there's something coming up, as we saw with Nikki Cross having kind of a lull with her losses lately, does that bring sanity in?
Sanity, yeah.
Or do we see a massive push with Jinder Mahal and Indus Sher? I'm curious because as we saw with Zoe Stark, they are definitely pushing these NXT call-ups.
Yes.
Be legit competitors and not just the new people on Raw.
The only thing we didn't see was anything out of Odyssey Jones yet tonight, though.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll see a lot out. I think that's someone you will not necessarily get a lot out of. He'll be kind of what R-Truth is, I think. I don't think Odyssey Jones is going to be a main.
I don't think Odyssey Jones was ready for the call-up.
It's hard to tell if somebody's ready, but I think what we're going to see with Odyssey Jones is a really slow burn.
Okay.
Really slow burn.
Okay.
And he's probably going to get typecasted in a specific spot.
Well, here's going to be Carl's dream match, and it's going to be Odyssey Jones versus Omos at SummerSlam in the opener.
In a Punjabi prison match.
Oh, God, no, we're not going to go that horrible. Oh, we're doing well here, Mark. Thank you for asking.
Although I gotta say, the last Punjabi prison match between Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton really wasn't that bad of a match.
No, it wasn't, except that you can't see inside it, even because there's just too much bamboo.
But that's also a problem of where you're putting the camera. If you were to install cameras inside the structure and have some different, it would be perceived differently. I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
And Mark Talks Wrestling, thank you so much for popping in. We are kind of coming up to the end of our night of broadcasting here on our local establishment and Turnbuckle Studios. But we do appreciate you coming in. We are here every Monday night as we watch Monday Night Raw and just do a watch along and talk about the show and anything else that goes.
Just anything that comes across our mind.
Squirrel.
No,
But
HCW Sports saying he was at the first Punjabi prison match live, and that was nuts.
and yeah, I'm sure the visual of that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like probably if you went and saw like the first chamber match, or if you're in the crowd at WrestleMania 10 and that was your first experience or introduction to the ladder match, or
Right.
One of the cages and stuff like that.
And in my case, seeing the new Hell in a Cell structure at Summers, at what was new at the time, Unforgiven 06.
Right.
Structure was huge, by the way.
Yes.
And Mark, we would love for you to join us next week. That would be absolutely fantastic, because those that are here, that are watching and inside of our chat, you're our co-hosts along these shows, and we absolutely love the engagement. So yeah, by all means, come by next week as well and join in the conversation.
Please.
One thing about Odyssey Jones, which is really funny, the fact that we're talking this much about Odyssey Jones, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one to join Maximum Male Models when Otis says no.
Okay.
I just hope that with you mentioned they were going to do a slow burn with Odyssey Jones. I just hope he doesn't go into Veer Mahan territory as far as pushing into Raw.
Which we still haven't seen him debut on Raw yet. It's been, 6 years?
Well, he did debut on Raw. He beat
he did debut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He did, and then
he disappeared again.
After destroying Ray and Dom, disappeared again, and then he's coming back.
Yeah, they
now
did
with Indus Shear.
Yeah, and they did a vignette with them tonight.
But just like a good Godsmack song, it was unforgettable.
Right.
Yep.
I had to put over.
I know. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Hey,
I'm actually glad that they did send Veer back down to NXT, because when he did those matches against Ray, you could tell he was not ready.
Well, he's coming back to Raw in this year, though.
Yeah.
And in this year is coming, people.
Yes, they are. We saw the promo towards the end of Raw.
The irony to the whole this is fantastic.
I'm actually, when it comes to the NXT call-ups, I'm still very excited about JD McDonough, because I want him and Finn Balor.
You know what? JD McDonough coming up, I think, is going to be absolutely fantastic. And him and Finn Balor, I think, would be priceless. Beautiful.
Versus student, because it was Finn Balor who trained him.
Right.
Put him in the Judgment Day, because there's part of me that kind of wants to see him and Dom as a tag team.
Okay, I like your thinking.
I could
Damian Priest could be your mid card. Finn Balor can be your head or your main title, and Rhea's your woman. There you go.
Yep.
And then Dom and JD McDonough with tag team. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just very excited about him coming. So.
Yeah.
It's all good. I think for me, at least, we'll go around the room and your mods censor me. I'll have to say that comment to you guys on my show. LOL, no censored there. I didn't know that things were censored here.
He is on the Twitch, right?
Yeah.
Let me check that, because I know our Twitch sometimes, like, when we started the Twitch, we were very standard with it, and I don't know if we've changed it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back and look at it, but Proceed as you will, Carl. Just if you're going to go around the room, maybe do me last. If you don't
Yeah, definitely. Ed is letting us know that Twitch has an auto mod that is there, but also saying that Priest in the main event, Finn and Dom for the tags. I think in time we could probably see that transition, that workaround to have Damian Priest in main event contention. Yeah, I think we definitely could see that. Yeah, HCW, Joshua, we're definitely going to take a look into it anyways. So yeah, no problem at all. And Karl is tired. Karl is always tired, dude. That's just a fact of life now. That's all that is. It's a fact of life,
Yeah.
Jack. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do all night.
Right? I was getting there. It's a fact of life, Jack. Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah.
OMD, what have you got coming up this week with our local establishment?
With our local establishment, you can catch me tomorrow night on Turnbuckle Talk, guesting with Karl. Coming up Wednesday, I'm still tentatively doing an extra stream with Bubba Duke, as well as Thursday night we have the Boar's Nest at 7:30 or 8 o'clock until 9 before Ring Respect Radio takes over. You can catch me on Facebook at Daniel Hrycyk, HRYCYK, or on Snapchat, One Man Dynamic.
Chris Best.
All right, so again, if you want to catch some of my old school films that I did in college, you can look me up on Facebook at 83 Films. All my film projects from Sioux College from the college are there. If you want to follow me with my gaming, once I get that started, as Parrish just collapsed over and died on me.
I didn't collapse.
CBRS Entertainment is my YouTube channel where you can follow me there. And I can't hear Karl.
That was CBRS Entertainment, correct?
Yes, CBRS Entertainment.
Perfect. Easiest place for everybody to find me is going to be at Linktree, linktr.ee/Karl Karufel. And Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper Canada, if you guys are listening, we're still repping the Dr. Pepper. It is a non-sponsored drink of this program, and we would love to change that over here at, well, our local establishment and with Turnbuckle Studios. It would be fantastic to have you guys on as a sponsor of the programs that I do, Karl Karufel.
So that company would be Canada Dry Mott's Incorporated.
That's right. Or Keurig. Keurig is part of them as well. Yeah. Parrish, are you back with us?
I am. I knocked my mic over as I was looking at rating somebody on the OLE Twitch side. Because as people know, we like to do that on OLE. We like to help support other people on our Twitch side. As I think a lot of people would know, we're going to go featured Fisher. He's a friend, so go support what he's doing. But yeah, if is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, sorry. Yeah, you can follow me on the Twitter at Chris Parrish, on the Instagram at Chris.Parrish, on my YouTube at Chris Parrish, and my Twitch at the Chris Parrish. You can also find me on our local establishment and all those good, amazing socials as you see ticking below. But on programming, obviously every Monday when I am off my shoot job, you can find me here on the Monday Night Watch Along. You can follow me on every Sunday at 12:15 Eastern with Busting Out with my brother Bobby Munson there. We are the brunch busters there. That's why we call each other brother. Also on this Thursday, over on the Backbreaker Media side, you can see me filling in with Cody Defoe with Astra Pizarro as we are going to react with Making an Impact. And then this Wednesday at about 10 p.m. Eastern, around that time, look at our socials that are clicking below. Ed Fries and I are going to be doing our wrestler draft, the pay-per-view episode, because on Saturday I will not be in the city I live in. I'll be away on business. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. For OMD, for Chris Best, for Parrish, and for myself, Karl Karufel, this has been another episode of the Monday Night Raw Watch Along here on our local establishment and Turnbuckle Studios. Thank you so much to everybody for coming in, joining in, and being part of the program. And until next week, we will see you.
Our boys felt different from the others. I'm running away